Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video, and welcome to the entirety of the Breaking Point 3 storyline inside F1 25. Yes, a massive thank you to EA once again for providing me with early access to the game, but today we're going to be jumping in and going through the entire storyline, obviously, that this game has to offer. I know there's some of you out there that just kind of want to see what happens with it, so there will be timestamps linked down below. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live on Friday, we obviously went through Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of the story. Don't go back, check it out, because that's going to be the first bit of this video as well there. So, obviously, we're going to dive in, we're going to go through everything. Every chapter will be linked down below and everything else. Of course, for some of the longer challenges, I will edit it down slightly. No one wants to see me do like 6 laps of Austria by myself or anything like that later on in the video. But yeah, I've got no idea what to expect from this one. Like I said, obviously get yourself sub. We're trying to hit 150k on the channel as well right now. But yeah, without further ado then, let's head kind of back to Chapter 1 and 2. For those of you that watched that video, head straight over to Chapter 3. Everything will all make sense. Whether this is kind of the final part of the story, or whether we're going to see something in the future, we don't really know. But this year we've got 4 difficulty levels: normal, challenging, hard, and then expert. We're going to be doing this on expert mode, of course. It's from AI 85 to 110, so we should still stand a good chance of being able to complete these challenges without too much difficulty. Of course, assists on this game, I run absolutely nothing, as always. We're going to leave, obviously, the difficulty there. Pit stop experience, apparently that matters, is going to be set to immersive. And as you can see, everything else as well will obviously run standard damage mode as well for this one. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm sure cutscenes are going to cut in here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, F1 25 finally here. Let's do this thing.
Previously, in Breaking Point.
You know, the first time you see a car, your car, alongside Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, that's what it's all about.
Aiden, listen. Between you and me, I don't think this team is right for me.
Callie Mayer becomes the first woman ever to win the F2 championship.
What about your dad? Has he called to congratulate you yet, Callie?
Nope. Next question.
Devon Butler now. Oh, that's not good! Oh no! Devon Butler spins! He's out!
It was his hearing. He'd been keeping it from us.
Done.
I think maybe he'd been trying to keep it from himself. So if Devon, your son, can't drive, how about your daughter?
Callie Mayer becomes the first female driver of the modern era to participate in an F1 race. Here she comes! But there's contact between the 2 Colour Sport drivers!
Aiden, are you alright? It's just another Butler.
The 2 Colour Sport teammates not exactly doing each other any favours this afternoon.
What is Aiden playing at? Thought he was too good for the team. He just had a bit of an attitude problem.
Enough! It has to stop. Understand?
I must take care of the business, Kelly. Who do you think will inherit it after I'm gone?
Well, Devon, obviously. I wanted you to fight for me. He never listened to me. He always listened to you.
You know what it's like to leave all this behind, don't you?
That's the most difficult thing I've ever done.
I didn't choose this, Casper.
I've had an entire season of you whispering in people's ears. I'm asking you to leave the meeting.
You can't be serious.
This is not your team. And after today, it might not even exist.
Coming, Devon?
Yeah, I'm thinking I might actually stay.
You all know what's at stake. If we race as individuals today, the team dies.
I'm sorry if I was ever.
I will forgive you on one condition.
What's that?
You get your share of the points.
Aiden's out! I heard.
Sure about this?
I'm sure about everything.
Is this a team order?
She's not gonna make up that much ground. It can't be done. Just cruise it in, Cal. Trust me, you watch her go.
And to the checker flag for one final time. That is some race from Callie Mayer.
What an incredible performance by her today.
Connor Sport, sure, will be very delighted with that one.
Well, a good little catch-up there of obviously everything we saw inside F1 23. Boy, oh boy, that feels a long time ago. But here we are then in Bahrain, day 3 of 2024 pre-season testing. After obviously the nail-biting finish in their 2023 season, Connor Sport head into pre-season testing here in Bahrain as a clear underdog on the grid. However, the team under new management has been hard at work looking to prove the doubters wrong. I apologise, a lot of this text seems to be hidden right behind you guys on the camera, so if I'm kind of sat like that, you'll know why.
Well, here we are then, the final day of pre-season testing here in Bahrain.
It's been good, hasn't it, so far, Crofty? We've seen all the teams out there, putting in the miles, putting in the laps, and we come away from it still not knowing who's going to be the team to beat. It looks super competitive as always.
Now, you're not wrong, Ant. Red Bull and Ferrari have looked impressive as expected, but it's Connor Sport that have really been the talk of the paddock so far this week.
Well, I really hope that this means we're going to kind of get a full pre-season testing inside F1 25.
Over the past couple of days, we're all really happy, but let's make this a big, strong finish, yeah?
Yeah, copy.
Well, I think we might be trying to go then for some kind of fast lap here.
Just use this lap to get accustomed to the changes, and once you feel like you're happy enough with everything, you can come back to the pits at any time to end the session.
Okay, so that's quite cool then. We are literally just out trying to get some laps on the board.
Great. I'll leave it up to you.
I don't know exactly what we need to do to get accustomed to the car, but of course this gives us our first look at the kind of tweaks and changes that we've got for Bahrain inside F1 2025. So, obviously, definitely noticing the front end is slightly less forgiving than F1 24. It always felt like last year's game, the car had way too much front end. Curbs around Bahrain as well, very, very different.
Just getting back into the swing of things.
But of course, yeah, on this game as well, definitely going to have to try and get used to some of the understeer that of course now is back. Of course, on last year's game, you could just throw the car in with just as much steering lock as you wanted and get it to kind of grip up. You can see, obviously, we've got all of like the HUD settings and everything like that, as you would come to expect. Just starting to get the hang of this car, though, as we make our way back up the hill in towards the final corners. We went purple in Sector 1. Will we go purple in Sector 2? Yes, we will. Not too sure what lap times we've seen other drivers using there. But on the overtake mode then, as we make our way down in towards the final corner, is this going to be the fastest lap of pre-season testing? Normally doesn't equate to much when you get into the real-life Formula 1 season. But anyway, out of the final corner, it is going to be a 1 minute 32.4. That puts us top of the board, and the team, there you go, the team want us to be a 1:34.1, so hopefully we're going to smash that one out of the park, and we've already gone 2 seconds quicker. Oh, my first ever lap on the game there, big slide through the first couple of corners though. I'll be honest, I'm still not a big fan of the HUD inside this year's game. It's not quite what I would want, but, you know, I get that they want to kind of change it up each year. And hopefully it kind of presents information in a better fashion.
Car, please. How's it feel?
Yep, sure thing. Car's feeling great.
Definitely have to brake a little bit earlier than we did on F1 24. But again, this car, you know, it doesn't have a setup or anything like that on it. So, of course, isn't going to be as responsive as I would probably want it to be. I don't know if we can make any other kind of tweaks and changes. I keep accidentally telling the team I want a box. Need to just change around my buttons a little bit because the overtake mode and the radio button seem to be the wrong way around at the moment. There's your camera angle. So learning more and more there as having a look inside the Connor Sport car up in towards the final couple of turns. Only green through Sector 2, so clearly some quick times coming in from the other drivers as well then. But down in towards the final corner, let's just beat that target time and maybe that'll be the last objective the team have got for us here. Nice to smash things out nice and quickly in your first session back. And there we go, a 32-0. We've just got to head back to the pit lane then.
Excellent stuff, mate. We're seeing really positive data from that run. So just when you're done, bring it back into the pits.
There we go then, happy with the car, everything else. So I'm going to just do this final lap, and I will see you guys back in the pits. And making our way then through the final corner, tweaking the brake bias around and a few other bits and pieces. Of course, there will be setups over on Map 2 and 2 Racing coming out every single day.
I've already told Casper, let the car run a little wider out of turn 4. You can really extend the track there.
I don't know. We're already pretty close to track limits at that point.
Well, you're leaving time on the table, so just let it run a little wider.
Yeah, but you're not the one behind the wheel, Dev.
We might be pushing our luck with the steward, so we'll have to side with Callie on this one.
Ask Casper, he'll agree with me.
Yeah, they're here now. Just give me a second. Devon, just a man. So we look through the data, and if we adjust the ERS harvesting rate, we should see some improvement on those turns.
Told you.
Right, okay, settle down. Got someone who wants to speak to you all. Right, they're listening now. Davidoff.
Good. So, as your new team owner, I thought it only right that I check up on my investments. And I'm glad I did. Casper's just filled me in on the lap times. I just wanted to say, well done. I'm impressed. But Red Bull's numbers are better, so there's still room for improvement.
Well, now we know what we're up against. I'm sure me and
Callie,
Aidan could...
don't have time to chat. All I wanted to say is that I'm expecting great things from our drivers this season. We all are. Just don't let yourselves down.
And no worries, Dad. We're all over it.
Good man. I'll fly out to Bahrain as soon as I can. Ciao.
Well, he's right, you know. With times like these, we could be real contenders this season.
Well, I've got to admit, it is a little bit weird, obviously, going back into 2024. I know we're only a few races into 2025, but kind of seeing all the drivers at their old teams. Even Valtteri Bottas, I spotted him there, was quite a weird feeling. But the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, then, several races into the 2024 season. While still early, Connosport have had an encouraging start to the 2024 season. A series of impressive performances has surprised fans, pundits, and other teams on the grid alike. Let's see what we've got ahead of us.
We had an incredible start to the 24 season. Better than any of us could have imagined.
And do you think any of that was down to Davidoff Butler buying the team?
Undoubtedly. I mean, Davidoff had a way of pushing people's buttons to motivate them, as he would call it. Besides, both his kids were at Connosport, so if there were any disagreements, which there were, he could be very...
persuasive. He would always get what he wanted. Why do you think I sold the team to him at the end of 2023?
Well, Andre O'Connor there, making, he's a bit of a Fred Vasseur character, isn't he? You're the boss, though. Throughout the course of Breaking Point 3, you'll not only control the drivers, but also Connosport's team principal, Casper Ackerman. During these visits to the team data center, Casper will have to make difficult decisions covering a range of topics during department events. How you choose to respond to these events will have a direct effect on many things, such as your performance and reputation. They may even affect bonus objectives for upcoming races. So all good to know. I think we had this in 2023. So Davidoff has arranged for a luxury watch brand, Eichenberger? I'm never going to be able to pronounce that one. Anyway, they're going to be running an advertising campaign featuring Devon, Callie, and himself to promote their new product line. Eckenberger have been in contact asking what might be possible to arrange the filming. Currently, it would have to replace a pre-scheduled meeting about simulator data. How do you want to deal with this request? I think in this instance, we need to probably prioritize that early on. We need to get the money rolling in. Money is key inside Formula 1 as well there, so all important stuff. So obviously between story events, you'll return to the hub. Here you can check the latest news and your social feed, emails, and even receive phone calls from other characters throughout the course of Breaking Point 3. The character you control in these hubs can change from visit to visit, each one offering a different perspective on life at Connor Sport. Of course, you've got the performance and reputation ratings as you always get. So obviously it gives you a brief rundown on obviously how performance works. You know, if you've played Breaking Point before or anything like that, you'd obviously already have an idea of how that kind of works. And then reputation again is obviously how well the media fans and the F1 world perceive you and your team. Of course, everything you do inside the game as well has, you know, responds to all of those kind of things as well. So very, very important that you make the right calls. Do we have any interesting news articles? Apparently Aiden and Callie are not particularly friendly at the moment. And we got a phone call coming through as well. It's all going on. I didn't just decline, did I? No, I was going to say.
How's everything shaping up?
Pretty good. We're just about to go over the data from FP3. I want to encourage Callie to adjust the brake balance. She's still locking up coming out of turn 7. And as for Aiden,
Yeah, good. Thank you, Casper. Thanks. Yep. Casper, listen, we need another strong showing at Imola.
Of course.
Getting a great result in Ferrari homeland would show that we're serious about making the top 3.
And we are, as you know. We've delivered a good car this year, so
But there's always a better car around the corner. Also, I understand my old friend Ernst has been in touch about a shoot with some watches.
Yeah, Eigenberger. Yes, I've given it the go-ahead.
Very good. It's important to me. I'll tell Devon, you tell California. Anyhow, I got another call to make. Must be off. Ciao.
Well, I want to know how we're locking up at turn 7 around Imola, because of course that's the fairly flat-out corner after Tosa the hairpin, so yeah, how on earth are you locking up on the exit there? I'm not really too sure. It's completely taken me out of the realism. But anyway, let's head to the race then here. Let's see what we can do in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.
What a terrific battle this is. Down the main straight at Imola. Connor Sport against Red Bull. Verstappen against Mayer. And there's contact. Into the gravel goes Mayer. Verstappen races on.
It was always going to be close going into that corner. Tough to go around the outside. Verstappen was so hard though, so aggressive, as we often see.
Everything okay, Callie?
Where was I supposed to go there?
I know. We'll talk about it later. Right now, let's get your head down, because it looks like you've escaped unscathed.
There we go then, Max Verstappen doing his usual line. Let's just try and see if we can move our way back up the order. We've got just over 5 laps left of this race here from the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And we've got to try and make some moves. Luckily, we're on a set of the soft compound tyre, as we get to have a look at, of course, all the changes that we've got to the Imola circuit. Of course, all based on the real-life 2024 weekend. So that gravel trap, that's going to make that chicane a lot less forgiving than what we've seen in previous years. There was one of the Williams in the way. That is still Logan Sargent in that car. Oh, here we go. Okay, so they've tried to change the way rewind works on this game.
Okay,
Oh, there we go. That's a little bit weird.
To either pause, fast forward, or rewind, and once you've found exactly where you want to go again from, just follow the on-screen prompt to head back into the action.
There we go then. Marky giving us a little hint there as to how everything works. Well, I'm sure, hopefully we're not going to use too many rewinds inside F1 25, but yeah, maybe just they're struggling a little bit down in towards that corner, as I need to try and make sure I move the brake bias back. Oh, it's Logan Sargent. I mean, he's true to life, isn't he? All in the way there through the final couple of corners, but we'll get that brake bias shifted backwards. I'm not too sure how I didn't get any DRSs. We're actually going to be under pressure from George Russell back into turn 1, so not really a fan of that one. And, well, that's going to make our life even more difficult then late on in the day here, but yeah, hopefully we can try and make a run back on George pretty soon. Oscar Piastri 5 seconds up the road, as the car definitely feels a lot more sensitive. Like I said, you've got certainly less front-end performance, but it's also kind of more realistic. You know, you can't just barrel it in. It can still be very, very pointed. It's sort of down the inside of Russell again there. So I really thought he'd try and move back out to open up his run through the corner. We can definitely make moves then around this circuit there, as I love all the new curbing around this circuit. Imola, it was always great fun. It's kind of still kept that magic of trying to maintain momentum.
5 seconds.
But does now feel, yeah, a lot more how Imola kind of should. Well, Aiden Jackson seems to be struggling a lot more this time with the car at the moment, but we've still got a Carlos Sainz-shaped Ferrari between ourselves and our teammate there. Looks like Verstappen has moved his way through and is now pushing for that final podium place himself. So as we will get the DRS then to start lap 14 here, only 3 laps to go. The gap to Oscar down to about 3.6 seconds, but yeah, we are really starting to run out of time here. The other objective, of course, is just to finish in P5, which hopefully we are about to do then as we'll get past Sainz. I'm sorry, we were there? Oh, sorry, P5 even, not P4, which is a little bit of a shame. That same our opening lap, we struggled so much, but a second taken out of Piastri through those first couple of corners. We've got more and more lap cars out of the way. Zhou Guanyu is not going to be one of them, though. Running down in P20. Come on, Sauber, get out of the way, man. Thank you very much. Well, I'm also not sure if I'm kind of forgetting how bad energy recharge is, obviously, in a default car. Inside F1 24, but we're definitely not able to charge up the battery pack in the way I would want to right now. Luckily, that's hopefully not going to cause too many problems towards the end there as we get a big slide out of the final corner. Try and get a run on Verstappen back into turn 1. We'll move to the outside line yet again of the Dutchman there. He didn't let us do it first time round in the cinematic. That time round that we will let me through was just see there, whenever you dip a wheel in the gravel, really just throw a lot of dirt up onto the tyre. But is this the battle for the race win? I think it might be. So Perez, I believe that is, running up in P2 right now. So that's pretty unrealistic inside F1 24. But hopefully, or inside the 2024 season, I should be saying. But maybe, just maybe, then we can try and fight for the win here, despite the sloppy start to this race. As Oscar Piastri, this is the objective by the end. But yeah, Perez, could we see him trying to get a move? Charles Leclerc leading in front of the Tifosi here. Of course, Ferrari had an absolute disaster in the 2025 Italian Grand Prix. Can't even remember what happened in 2024. For them, of course, it was just the battle between Lando and Max that everybody remembers from that GP then. But again, just trying to bide our time, waiting for the DRS. It's definitely much, much easier to lock up the wheels as well, which is, you know, really fantastic. I want this game to kind of feel a little less forgiving. F1 24 was just a bit too easy there as well. The new fastest lap of the day. 210 miles an hour as we approach turn 1 again. Charles Leclerc really does give Perez the squeeze down in towards turn 1, but in the first ever Challenger braking point, things are getting pretty exciting here. Let's see whether Perez again is going to find an opportunity. There isn't many other spots around this lap to really go for overtakes. Lando Norris proved into the Gilles Villeneuve chicane is one of them here as well. That inside curb really does unsettle the rear end of the car as well. So definitely going to have to be a bit more careful. You cannot push these machines in the same way you could inside F1 24. It definitely feels just a little bit more kind of sim-like. But let's see if we can try and get a run then on Perez out of the Aqua Minerale section of the lap. Again, try to use a little bit of battery up in towards those final chicane of the lap there, and we're going to absolutely barrel our way through. Get a warning for a collision against Sergio Perez there, but we need to be close to Charles Leclerc by the time we make our way through the final couple of corners. Will it be the Monegasque man winning this race though? He's got no battery left as we make our way through the final turn. Will we have enough speed to get to him before the line? It's going to be mighty close. Leclerc just hangs on.
Take care of the car on the way in.
Got to say, it's been another good day for Connor Sport today. A string of positive performances recently has seen them establish themselves well and truly ahead of the midfield.
Yeah, they're in the top 3 now, Crofty. A great season so far, and I've been really impressed with both Mayer and Jackson.
I don't think you're the only one there, Ants. We'll be watching their season with interest. Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Callie, quite a fierce battle with Max out there today. How did you find going up against him in a situation like that?
Well, there we go then. Of course, back with some of the quizzes inside the game. I hope this is implemented back into career mode. I think I relish being able to fight him inside this sport.
I mean, even the best drivers can crack. Max is obviously great, but if you keep the pressure on every lap, eventually that's going to pay off. And I'm not about to give anyone an easy time out there, least of all him.
You're now third in the Constructors. That's the best performance we've ever seen from Connor Sport. So what do you put it down to?
I think we're going to definitely see the... Oh, no, Casper, I suppose, is a bit of a baller, isn't he? He's a bit of a Kimi Räikkönen character inside this one. Sadly, we're not a level 3 reputation just yet, so we're going to hype him up.
A lot of it is Casper. He used to be a driver, so he's been through all of this before and he knows what we're up against out there. And he really keeps us focused on what counts and makes the right calls when it matters. Obviously, the drivers still need to do their job, but a team can easily become a shambles without the right person in charge. And thankfully, Casper has always been so brilliant.
So do you feel like you're sending a message to the rest of the grid with these kinds of results?
Yeah, I think we're definitely here to compete with the best. You know, I reckon we could be fighting for the championship.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. Connor Sports still have this reputation as a new team or a small team, but we're so much more than that. We're here to compete with the best in the world. On our day, we can beat anybody on the grid. And so far this season, we're proving that.
Thank you so much for your time.
Well, the interviews are certainly a big improvement from what we saw inside F1 24. But as we head to the post-race then here, the racing incident between herself and Verstappen aside, Callie Mayer put in a fantastic performance in Imola, managing to salvage the race for another impressive finish for Connor Sport. Of course, there is the option to do all of these as Callie, and I believe all of them as Aiden as well. So I might have to do 2 separate playthroughs of this at some point down the line. But let's go wait and see who we're talking to.
Beautiful. Yes. Hey, Dad. Just congratulating the guys on a job well done.
There was no time for that. We all did well. How are preparations coming on for Monaco?
I'm sure everything's in hand.
Listen, Evan. We don't have time to rest on our laurels. I want the race data analysed and full diagnostic reports on Casper's desk before we begin packing down. Listen, you've dropped the ball on this one. You cannot take your foot off the gas, not when Connor Sport is this close to success. I expect you to take charge. Show the team what a leader is.
Yeah, well, it's a bit difficult, that, Dad. I'm team liaison. Basically, I pass notes between departments, not exactly leadership material.
Devon, you have got to focus on the bigger picture. Casper.
Davidoff. Devon, can you give us a minute? Just need to talk to your father.
Yeah, sure thing, boss. I'll just go and liaise, yeah?
Davidoff, why so full on?
Just trying to motivate him, is all. He needs to stay focused.
Yeah, I'm talking about the team. They've just had a fantastic result and you're... Just give them some space to simmer down, to celebrate.
Of course. You're right. But we cannot lose momentum now, Casper. Everything must be in its place.
What are you planning?
What do you mean?
I've seen that face before. I mean, whatever it is, just keep me informed. I don't want any nasty surprises.
I'm just looking out for my family, that's all.
Okay.
Well, we really have seen a big transformation, haven't we? Of, you know, it always used to be Aiden Jackson, Devon Butler even, that was kind of the hated guy inside this game. Towards the end of the F1 23 breaking point, it kind of felt that Aiden Jackson was starting to become, you know, a bit of a pain as a character. Now it is just, you know, Davidoff, who is just a really awkward pain for everybody, it feels like here. But anyway, we've got a little bit of news, obviously, that's come through. Callie obviously shining in Imola. Over on the social media side of things as well. Here we go. We've got a phone call coming in again. Let's see. Davidoff, of course.
Hi.
Callie, sorry to miss the debrief. What a race.
Yeah, thanks.
Listen, let me take you out for dinner to
congratulate you.
What? One of you and Aiden's little soirees? No, thank you.
Don't be like that, California. You're always welcome. I always invite you and you always say no.
You invited me once in Monaco when I found out you were going without me.
That was just a misunderstanding.
In fact, I think it was Aiden who invited me.
I'm not getting into this. Look, are you coming or not?
Dad, I'm sure you mean well, but the last time we tolerated each other long enough to eat a meal, you spent the whole evening telling me to sit up straight. I could do without the stress. I just want to relax. I just want to enjoy my evening without feeling you're judging me all night.
Fine. I'm sure you'll have a perfectly good time on your own.
Tell you what, yep, Davidoff is a real pain so far in this one. But anyway, let's head into Chapter 2. Let's see what we got cooking. Here we go then. We're just being straight thrown in here at the Austrian Grand Prix. 11 laps remaining of this race.
Start, Aiden. Now's our time to push. Come on. Copy that.
So apparently then we've got to overtake Lando Norris before lap 13 in this one. So if it's a 35% race, we won't have that long to go. This is 25%. Yeah, there you go, 25%. That's not so bad there, as clearly something's happened to Callie to be... She's either way behind or way in front, as there is Norris 3.6 seconds up the road. So we've got our work cut out again. We want to try and get around everybody. So a little bit of a wobble. The inside curbs, I'm loving that. Far less forgiving than they were inside F1 24. That was a fantastic change. Ready for this year's game. But yeah, we just got to try and use the DRS where we can. Charles Leclerc, the AI definitely struggling to get the drive off of that final corner, as we will have a look around the outside of Charlie Boy. Back into turn 1 there. Oh, again. Luckily, I kind of used my old braking point there, because I probably would have broke myself otherwise. Lord Russell then, as we make our way back up the hill, and well, now it's shaping up a bit like the real-life race did. Verstappen and Norris having a battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. Fantastic to see for us if they come to blows. It's just like Russell managed in 2024. That could give us an opportunity to try and claim victory there, but Verstappen, as always, he has got the bit between his teeth. He does not want to end up being vulnerable. Well, let's see if again then we can try and get a run out of the final 2 corners. Of course, normally with these challenges, it's either you have to run all the way to the end, or as soon as you make the move on the leader, that is kind of the challenge done and dusted. So we'll wait and see if we can get a run on Lando back out of turn 1. Let's always try and nail that apex through the first corner. Not like that though. Bit of a trip through the gravel as we'll try and get the power back down yet again. I mean, yeah, you've got to be so careful. The curbs now, you're definitely going to have to think twice about when you're using them, as just see again, locking up at the top of the hill. This is a great challenge. Like I said, it definitely feels a bit more sim-like. Well, down the inside of Verstappen maybe. I'm loving the way the AI kind of defend as well. They will really force you onto a compromised line and then try to kind of gather themselves up through the exit there. I mean, look at that, Verstappen trying to go around the outside through 2 corners as well. So definitely, you know, I'm really hoping they've kind of taken the last couple of years to rework a few bits and pieces like that. Through some of the high downforce corners, you can definitely still kind of chuck the front end in, and it will grip up, but hopefully second time for charm then for a move against Lando Norris back into turn 1. Around the outside, and there we go.
Some brilliant laps out there at the Red Bull ring today, especially from our race leader, Aiden Jackson.
And his teammate, Mayo's making up ground out there as we speak.
An impressive overtake on the cards. Is it? Is it? Yes, it is! Mayo moves another place closer to her teammate in first.
Aiden's in first?
Copy that. Aiden is in first.
Can I catch him?
Let's go and find out, mate. Come on.
Here we go. Not going to see any number 1 and 2 driver status down at Connorsport then. Drivers are going to be allowed to race for the victory here, and we'll have to put in some really impressive laps. Now you can see we've got to try and do it all again in the second car.
5 places behind Aiden, 5 places behind, and 3
Hopefully not for very long. I thought we were going to be battling Perez for like P13 or something in this Grand Prix, but let's see how many cars then we can try and get on the run up the hill. If I had to guess, I would assume the AI are at about like 90% difficulty. It might just be 85 there as just really struggling. As soon as you lock up those fronts, it's far more difficult to kind of try and get them back operating in the right window. But we got 7 laps to try and complete this objective there, as Verstappen again actually just broke a little bit earlier than I was expecting, sending it to the inside of the Dutchman. But we are straight up into P2 and a 2.5 second gap to Aiden. We're rocking up into the back of Aiden Jackson by the end of lap 13 here, so hopefully we're not going to see a collision like we did in the IRL Grand Prix, but hopefully we can try and make the move past our teammate here. Callie's pace is much stronger at this stage of the day, is rolling on that throttle at the final turn. And we are up into P1 then. I think we've now just got to cruise round towards the end. So hopefully I'll see you guys at the checkered flag. But it looks like there is a battle going on between Charles Leclerc and George Russell towards the end of this race. But as we make our way through the final few corners, Connor Sport, we are here to fight once again. That podium back in Imola was pretty good, but a 1-2 finish today when everything runs perfectly, it is going to be a dominant display through the final couple of corners. Callie Mayer is going to be back on the top step of the podium here at Austria. That is an important 1-2 finish.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Woo! Yes!
In a league of their own today, and what a day for Connor Sport.
It really is, Crofty. There'll be people out there wondering when was this team going to slip up, but so far they haven't. It's been a great performance from both of their drivers.
And that performance puts them in second place in the Constructors' Championship within striking distance of Red Bull. Can they top the table? Well, with performances like that, I'd say they could.
Thank you for staying behind. Connor Sport's flying this season, flying. We're 1 place behind Red Bull. But it's a long season. I won't be around for a race or two. I have a bit of business I can't avoid. So I thought we'd get together and make sure that you understand what I expect from you in my absence.
Well, you said it yourself. We're flying, right? So we just keep doing what we're doing?
No. Look, if we're to catch Red Bull, take Connor Sport to the next level, each of you is going to have to step it up. Devon, you need to take charge more. You're a butler, a man of action. You need to start acting like one.
What's Casper said about that?
Callie, in my absence, follow Devon's lead. No arguments.
Finally.
Casper will be calling the shots, as usual. But Devon speaks for me. Is that clear?
Sure. No problem.
So, when we reach the top of the table, Connor Sport will no longer be the hunter, but the hunted, and every team will be gunning for you. So, Aiden, if there are any disagreements anywhere in the team, don't be afraid to step in. Casper is going to be coming under increasing stress over the next few races. I need to make sure there's someone there with a cool head, able to smooth things over. And to keep half an eye on these two. Now, does everyone understand what I want them to do? Have I made myself clear?
Crystal. Of course.
Sure.
Good. I think we're done here. Remember what I said? You can close the door on your way out.
Well, Aiden Jackson there was a little bit like kind of when one of your friends comes over and then your sister and you have an argument and you know your mum tells your friend. That's not how you act at home, isn't it? Just kind of awkwardly in the middle of some family dispute then. But heading into chapter 3, let's see what we've got coming up next. Then we've got a few other bits and pieces, just some emails and stuff like that. Ultimately, I don't think many of these make much difference in the game. We do have a call coming through from Evelyn, though. Let's see what she wants.
Mum.
Congratulations, Cal! I was screaming at my TV.
All nice things, I hope?
You are the best driver on the grid right now. There, I've said it.
Thanks, Mum. How's everything?
Oh, well, funny you should ask. I've just had a call from your father.
You answered?
I suppose I was curious.
What did he want?
Well, he called to talk about you. Isn't she doing well, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then he wished me well, and he said he had to take another call, and he went.
Weird.
Has he mentioned me at all?
I mean, we don't really talk.
No, of course you don't. Sorry, suppose not. Anyway, darling, well done again. I'll let you go, sweetie.
Bye, Mum.
Well, I reckon then, it turns out Breaking Point 3 is going to be all about marriage counselling. It's going to bring Davidoff and Evelyn back together, and then Devon and Callie can, you know, live a happy family yet again. Why do people keep ringing me? Who's ringing me now? Casper's coming in with a call.
Hey, Casper.
Hey, great job today. Top class driving.
Thanks. The car felt great. Nice work.
Cheers, yeah. Listen, just something to put in front of you. We're going to be doing a marketing campaign soon for a watch brand. Just going to be filming a day with you, Devon, Davidoff, and...
Absolutely no chance.
Cow.
Come on, Casper. It'll be weird. I mean, you know I don't fit the Butler name. I don't even use the Butler name. Honestly, terrible idea.
It's not coming from me. Davidoff was very insistent. And Callie, we need the money.
Right. So, this is one of those where you're asking me nicely, but really, I haven't got a say.
Yeah.
Okay. Sign me up.
Okay. Thanks, Cal. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna go now, before you ask me to do a dance or something.
Oh, no one wants that. I've seen you dance. Bye.
Bye.
This guy talks far more than Kimi Räikkönen ever would. Anyway, before anybody else rings me, let's head into Chapter 3, see what's going down. We're at the Belgian Grand Prix, so Connor Sport nipping at the heels of Red Bull in the constructors' standings. Casper Ackermann looks to keep the team focused and on target as the F1 world heads into the final race before the summer break.
Could you take a look at this, please?
Here we go then, we've got some other stuff going on. A senior member of the Aero team, Sarah Fratello, is showing exceptional progress and has been making some noises about deserved promotion. We would choose to promote her, which would... I don't even know what that word is. Maybe I'm being really stupid. And it could lead to good results, but it might put noses out of joint with other members of the team. What do you think we do? I say we delay that decision for now. We wait until after the summer break. A charity who we worked closely with in the past has asked if Aiden or Callie would be a patron for their latest campaign. Both have seemed keen to provide their support, but due to commitment issues with other charitable causes we already represent, it would be best if we only provide one driver. Who should we choose? Let's go with Aiden. He's not doing much so far in this storyline. It kind of feels like he's a B-list character inside the game, so let's head to the race.
There's an issue with the gearbox.
Okay, stand by. I'm assessing it now. Okay, Callie, you are going to have to manage that problem for now, please. Copy?
Okay.
We're looking into it.
There we go. That gearbox does not sound healthy in the car, so we're going to have to be very, very careful. I've got no idea which gear we've lost. It's 7th that seems to have gone then, but we've got a huge train of cars tucked up behind us as we try and make our way up through Rouge and Rayon. We've got to get to first by lap 11. How on earth does the team expect us to do that when we've got a damaged gearbox in the car? We'll try and obviously see how many positions we can hang on to.
Car ahead, 6.3 seconds.
We are taking a lot of time out of Aiden Jackson almost immediately, though, at the moment, as it looks like we do have access to the overtake. But yeah, we're going to have to try and leave the car in 6th gear through some of the flat-out sections, but obviously up the Kemmel straight and around the rest of the lap, we're not really going to be able to do that.
Right, well done, Callie. Well managed. The issue should now be resolved. Can you please confirm? Please confirm.
Yeah, all good.
She found the space and Mayer got the overtake done. Looks like those gearbox issues are truly behind her now, and surely she'll have her sights set on that podium.
And what a fantastic move it was. She's been super impressive out there today.
Okay, mate, you're making good ground here. Let's push.
Copy.
Right, but now we've got to try and win the race then in the second half. We hadn't been able to even close in on Sergio Perez by the time the gearbox issues have been sorted, but hopefully not going to be that far away from our top 4 drivers here. Verstappen 5 seconds up the road. And admittedly, yeah, that gearbox issue was probably costing us a second a lap or so, if I had to guess. But I reckon we can push to close in on Verstappen by the end of the GP. I need to actually do some of these challenges as Aiden Jackson. I'm not intending on just doing the entire campaign as Callie Mayer. Maybe that'll be a separate video a little bit further down the line then. But closing into the back of our teammate, of course, denied him victory at the Austrian Grand Prix. And I mean, his tyres are just not in great shape right now. Down the inside we'll go. I don't often see moves along the start-finish straight here at Belgium.
Place, 4.1 seconds.
I mean, there is Verstappen right there just in front. So, yeah, we are not a million miles away. Should be able to get a run on Fernando Alonso, who clearly is having his race of the season in that Aston Martin there. Up through Rouge Rallye will go, though. And we should surely be able to get the run on him just like we did on Perez last lap there. Tucked up in the wheel tracks. Alonso is going to try and go defensive to the outside. And up then into P3 of this race. Oscar Piastri has actually been the one applying pressure to Max Verstappen at the front of the order so far today. Well, a little bit wide through Blanchard on there, but can we have a look for a run past Oscar? Whoa.
7 seconds.
Well, you can't deny we're not committed to the overtakes at the moment, but surely we're going to be able to get past Max pretty quickly. So we make our way down through Stavolo as well then. I mean, this is the ultimate goal from the race. Apparently both goals now are obviously just to win the Grand Prix, so luckily we didn't end up coming under any pressure. I believe it was from Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris a little bit earlier on, but as we tuck up then behind Verstappen, just make sure we get the DRS range on him, make sure we can get by and obviously not be vulnerable again. Through the final chicane we will go there, thread the car through the right, thread the car through the left. Surely we're going to be able to get past Max on the run back towards turn 1. Yes, we will.
You hit the target well there. Nice one. There's a long way to go in this race, though, so keep your head down.
Up into P1 then, so I guess I'll see you guys at the finish. While making our way then in through the final few corners of the Belgian Grand Prix. It has been an absolutely dominant display, just like we saw back at Austria. Once we get the car in its rhythm, we are comfortably clear of everybody else. Max Verstappen 11-12 seconds behind. By the time we make it in towards the final few corners here, as 200 miles an hour up through Huon and Blanchard, sorry, at the end of the lap. Get a little bit of a slide on through the final couple of corners. It is going to be P1 here in Belgium.
Yes! Some race from Callie Mayer today. And those points will see Connor Sport take the top spot in the Constructors' standings. And for the first time in the team's short history. The question is, how will Red Bull now respond?
Well, I'm sure they won't take this lying down, but for now, it's Connor Sport who are the best team of this 2024 season.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. And what a treat it is to see Connor Sport taking the top spot. That's a well-earned victory.
Well, there we are then in the post-race there. A historic moment for Connor Sport as they are top of the Constructors' standings after a stunning performance in Spa from Callie Mayer. On top of the world, she wanting to share the moment with her family, and she searches the paddock for her brother Devon.
Hey, nice one.
Hey. Thank you. Casper said you were hiding out in here. Where you been? We're on top of the standings.
Shut the door, Cal.
Everything all right?
Yeah, I think you better take a seat.
What is it?
Just sit down. Why don't you ever listen?
All right. What's wrong, Dev?
His dad.
What about him? Where is he?
He's dead. He's dead, Cal.
Come here.
Can't believe it.
You're gonna be okay, Dev. You're gonna be okay.
Well, I've got to be honest, I feel slightly worse now about all the bad things I said about Davidov in the last couple of chapters, but yeah, there we go. A huge change-up inside this series then. We have lost Davidov from the game, and with the death of the Connor Sport team owner, Davidov Butler comes as a shock not only to his family, but the sports world as a whole. However, F1 waits for no one as the grid heads to Zandvoort. Clearly, EA don't believe it's a big loss. They're like, just carry on racing, man.
A lot of drivers are posting some of their best times, but you know, so are we.
Yeah, they can push all they want, they're not catching us.
One more question about your dad, if that's okay.
Oh no, we've already issued a public statement.
Well, the press release didn't say how you felt personally, so I was just wondering if you'd care to elaborate on that, as the family?
We loved him dearly, and we miss him very much.
Yeah, he was a good dad. He was a good man. He loved this team, loved this sport, you know, and most importantly, he loved his family. He was very generous, very supportive. He was a good dad. Right, Kelly?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. It's not hard, Cal. He just show a little bit of emotion like a normal person. He was a good man who loved his family. Simple.
Did he?
Come on, not this again. Look, what more did you want from him? I mean, I know you two had a rough patch, but you owe him just as much as I do.
Huh.
Oh. You really believe that?
Feels like everybody then trying to cause beef so far this season. Aiden Jackson just staying out of trouble. But we've got a few more bits and pieces going. Then following Davidov's passing, everyone's a bit directionless, and Devon isn't helping. He's interfering with people's work and ramping up pressure on team members. Mood seems low, people look tired and glum, and there's chatter that a lot of Connor Sport staff are applying for jobs at other teams. What would you do to suggest to improve morale? I think we should... Can we boot Devon from the team? I don't think we can boot Devon from the team. I think we'll take a little bit of time off. I'll have a bit of a breather. I don't think we can't really do that. Of course, we've got Monza next weekend, so I don't think that's going to be possible. We need to blow off some steam. I'll take the team leads out for drinks and then some socialising. Along the same lines, it would appear Devon is insisting his personal health guru be brought on as part of Connor Sport's staff. He says it'll help maximise the driver's potential. He's not strictly a medical professional, some might call it a pseudoscience, but as I said, Devon is insisting that happens. How do you want this done? I'm going to decline. We don't buy into any of that. We can't let this snake oil salesman near the drivers. Yeah, we will not be having that one. So let's head then into chapter 4. No kind of radio or anything like that as we head into this one. We've just got to get on with it, so no idea what position we're in. Down in P10 at the moment. It's to the inside of Hulkenberg. We will try and immediately go in towards turn 1, but yeah, clearly Callie struggling in the early stages of the race. No idea. I think Aiden Jackson, he's either winning or even further behind, which is a little bit of a problem here, but straight up into 9th place. Hopefully we can get past Russell pretty quickly. Hamilton, obviously, back in his Mercedes, is not too far up the road either. So we make our way through that corner. Again, you notice the lack of downforce when you're in the dirty air of another car. And Zandvoort, of course, is pretty notorious for that at the best of times. Oh, down the inside of Russell. This is clearly just what Calimere does inside this game. Not suggesting it's me for 1 second, but we go for the aggressive moves, kind of throw the car down the inside. A bit Verstappen-esque. Our new fastest lap of the day then as we start lap 12. Definitely feels like a lot more of these challenges. Oh, there we go. As soon as I start talking.
This has been from Calimere, threatening so many times, but she's under pressure here, and oh, she's lost it! Oh no! Lost it at the third turn. Her race is over, and I'd imagine that's a red flag.
It just looks like she ran a bit wider. Here's the replay. Had a snap of oversteer, wasn't quite able to catch it, and yeah, this is going to be a red flag. There it is.
Oh dear, what a great day it could have been, and the Connosport team watches on from the pit wall. It was all looking so promising.
Is Callie all right? Is she okay? She's absolutely fine, yeah, don't worry. Right, it's all on you now. Let's keep the focus up. We've got a chance to improve our position at this restart. Okay, copy that. Let's try this again. Fresh start, head down. Copy.
But there we are then, confirmation. Aiden Jackson was having an absolute stinker of a Grand Prix here at the circuit, and apparently... There we go. Are we able to go? There we go. That was a little bit weird. Game just decided they didn't want me to start this one, but the 5 red lights are on. Mighty long hold there, but it is going to be lights out. Oh, and away we go. So let's see if we can try and make up some spots then in towards that first corner and avenue. Oh, opening around the outside. Ricardo immediately tries to cover that off in towards the first corner, but we will make it through. And up then into P13 there, but a dramatic moment in this Grand Prix is, I mean, we've just got to try and pick off as many cars as we possibly can off the restart there. Gasly and Alonso are really struggling. Again, it would be nice if the AI were maybe a little bit high difficulty, as Alex Albon having a really good race. 2024 Williams there up comfortably inside the top 10. But immediately then we have got back up into the objective position from the Grand Prix. Let's just see how much further we can push it though. Could we potentially win here in Zandvoort? I'll just try and get the car rotated through. Who is that leading? It is of course Verstappen. I'm pretty certain at the front of the order then, as maybe have a look. Well, I thought about a look to the inside of Piastri there. Won't quite make that one happen through the next couple of corners. So let's just try and settle down. We made up all the progress we need to. But like I said, I just want to see how many races we can win. Oh, come on, get a run on Oscar. Oh, just about able to get the car to the inside there. We've got so much launch off the corners. As I mean, so far as recovery drives go, we're doing all right. Not if we do that, though. Shades of obviously what Callie did earlier on. And Oscar Piastri actually barreling me off the corner as well there. So a little bit of a dramatic moment. Does take a while to get all the gravel and dirt off the tyres again. But luckily we're still in the position we need. See if we can try it again then. This time round to the inside of Oscar Piastri. Another rather robust move up the top of the hill. But up then into P6 of this race is, like I said, I'm pretty certain. I would assume it's Verstappen leading his home Grand Prix yet again. Of course, Lando Norris actually took the win IRL in 2024, but trying to get the power down off of the corner. We'll have the DRS as well, so Norris is going to be a bit of a sitting duck. Not going to stop him trying to defend, though, in towards the next chicane. 2 laps to go of this Grand Prix as, again, we just dip a wheel through the gravel. But Verstappen's got a bit of a breakaway. We just want to try and get onto the podium. Or not, it would appear. Never had that curve do that to me.
Okay to continue. It's going to cost us a little bit of time, but we're nearly at the end of the race.
I might have just made my own life a little bit more difficult there as well. Contact with Norris as well. And we might be getting a little bit frantic towards the end of the Grand Prix here, but hopefully, again, we still should be able to hang on to that all-important 8th place. That's all we need from this Grand Prix. Again, I'm just trying to push to the absolute limit everywhere I possibly can. So again, another robust move on Lando Norris. You know, it's not normal career mode. I can afford to take some risk. Kind of learn what the AI are like. Well, all I've really done then in this race, or this series so far, is given Aiden Jackson a reputation as a very dirty driver, and Calimere a reputation of just winning quite a lot. Through the final corners, though, Max Verstappen is going to help Red Bull, I would assume, reclaim the lead of the Constructors' Championship. Sergio Perez is going to join him on the podium through the final corner. Not quite enough for us. It is only going to be P5.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme. Yes, great work everyone. Thank you everyone back at the factory.
Have to say, this has been a memorable race here at Zandvoort today, and an important race too, as Red Bull reclaimed the top spot in the Constructors' Championship, and Connor Sport drop into second.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson tried his best to salvage some points today, but Connor Sport will be devastated to give away the top spot like that. It's truly been a difficult few weeks for the team.
As you know all too well, Anthony, it can be a punishing sport sometimes, but I'm sure Connor Sport will regroup. Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
Aidan, Callie's incident really shook things up out there. How did it affect the race for you today?
There we go. I think we're going to try and back Callie up a little bit here. You know,
yeah,
we probably ought
did
to.
Shake things up, but look, Callie's an incredible driver. She always drives right to the limit, and you know her instincts out there today, they are the same instincts that have given us the season so far. So it's been tough for her recently, but the team has her back. I have her back, and we'll all keep pushing together.
Well, Connor Sport dropped back to second place today. How will the team deal with that?
I don't think anything needs to change within the team. We've done everything we need to fight with Red Bull. Why do we need to change stuff because of one mistake?
Yeah, I mean, our approach so far this season has got us to the top of these standings, so I'd say something's working right for us. Sure, we dropped back today, but, you know, we're not about to panic and make any drastic changes in our approach. We've got the right drivers, the right team, the right car. All we need to do is trust in our process, and the results will follow.
Well, it's clearly been a very tough few weeks for you all with the loss of Davidoff Butler. How are you coping?
You know what? We're going to be ice cold. No real impact. We're all professionals. We have jobs to do.
I think in terms of the day-to-day operation of the team, I wouldn't say it's had any real impact. At the end of the day, we're all professionals and we've all got a job to do. So we know the only way of dealing with his loss is to keep moving forward. We can't afford to let up. So, yeah, we've focused on sticking to the schedule and sticking to the approach and just looking forward to the next result.
That's great. Thank you.
Well, there we are then after the Dutch Grand Prix. Reeling from the loss of Davidoff Butler, Connor Sport have a race to forget in Zandvoort as Meyer crashes out in dramatic fashion. To make matters worse, the result sees Red Bull leap back into first place in the Constructors' standings. Let's see if we got another cutscene ahead of us. Doesn't look like we do, so I guess we will head then into Chapter 5.
Well, Davidoff dying hit everyone hard. I mean, we were there. Right at the top. But no matter how everyone tried to keep it together, it was just impossible to keep pace with Red Bull.
We found out afterwards that Davidoff had been ill for some time. He kept it from everyone. He tried to get as much in place as he could before he left. It was tough. But Devon and Callie, they had a lot to sort out.
Well, here we are then, back at the Butler estate in the UK, finding some time between the chaos of race weekends. Callie and Devon return home to attend the reading of their father's will. I already know heading into this is going to be controversial and probably bad.
Which is why, in the event of my death, I leave Butler Global and all of its assets to my son, Devon. I know you'll be watching this, Devon. And I hope that now you'll understand everything that I've prepped you for over the years, especially now that you're not driving anymore. Be a leader, Devon. The business is yours. I know you've got it in you.
That's it?
Those are his wishes. You are to be the sole owner of Butler Global and all its holdings and subsidiaries.
Including Connorsport?
Including Connorsport, Mr. Butler.
Right. Nothing for Callie.
That's okay.
What do you mean that's okay?
Well, it's not a surprise, Dev. I didn't expect anything.
Why not? So, are you sure this is right?
Oh, sure, Mr. Butler. Those were his wishes.
You'll be great. That's what he wanted. Just don't fire me, yeah?
If I could just get you to sign here, and your full signature there, please, Mr. Butler.
Yeah, sure.
We head then to the US Grand Prix with Devon Butler now formally installed as the new owner of Connorsport. Kasper Ackermann looks to try and manage his demanding new boss, along with revitalising a team in need of a shot in the arm. Let's see what we've got ahead of us then as we head into this weekend. Callie's behaviour has been a bit off recently. She's been confrontational at some moments, totally distant at others, and she actually upset a sim mechanic earlier by snapping at him because he was a bit slow to adjust the seat. It's raising some eyebrows internally. What would you like to do? I think we're going to ask her what she's going through. I'm hoping Kimi... I'm going to keep calling him Kimi Räikkönen, I don't care. But I don't want to force her into anything. Just let me speak to her. Unfortunately, Devon told the leads that he needs to stay rather late than go for the drinks he would organise. Said something to the effect of, no rest for the wicked, or anything else, or anyone else who isn't leading the F1 Constructors' Championship. Morale is still definitely on the floor. That's not good. Devon is clearly making life a bit more awkward for us again. But let's head then here to the US Grand Prix. Mid-race, Kasper Ackermann hopes of a turnaround at the US Grand Prix would be in doubt. It's early on, both drivers find themselves stuck in the mid-pack after a poor start to the race. 9 laps remaining then here.
So,
let's see
not
what's
the best
going
start,
down.
Callie, but we have still got time, so let's push, please.
Okay.
What is the primary objective? We've got to try and get the car back into 6th place here, so, well, Lord knows how many points Red Bull have pulled out against us in the Constructors' Championship. If I had to guess early on, I'm going to assume that we're going to lose out this season, and I've obviously got to try and fight back through in 2025, but yeah, we've got to try and beat Carlos Sainz as well. There's an 11-second gap to Carlos at the moment, so we will try and make a run past his new teammate, obviously for 2025, but he is still, of course, in the Ferrari in 2024 there. Hulkenberg, of course, got denied a potential points finish at Zandvoort as well, thanks to Callie's crash a couple of weekends ago. Oh, really struggling with the snap oversteer as well. Aiden Jackson is a few places up the road, so hopefully we're going to try and get back to him nice and quickly as well. But I guess this is good as well. It kind of gives us a bite-sized go at loads of the circuits inside the game. But as Verstappen sets a new fast lap of the day, that's the man we've really got to try and beat here. Hopefully we can get a run on Hulkenberg out in the final corner. Use a splasher battery around the outside will go. And back up into 9th.
Safety car, safety
okay.
car. No overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up. Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
There we go. I did wonder for a second whether that was meant to be scripted or not, but Hamilton out of the Grand Prix then. So we are up to P8, but obviously all this bunching up going to make things very difficult towards the end. Well, a very, very short safety car then, but it has mixed up the order here at Circuit of the Americas. Ferrari now with a 1-2, but we've been given a new objective of trying to beat Max Verstappen in this Grand Prix, so let's see if we can try and get back to the Dutchman. We've got 6 laps to try and make an impact towards the end of the GP as we get ready to resume racing then. Looks like whichever Ferrari that is has tried to bolt quite early there. Still a lot of Constantina and up though through the final corner, as can we get a run immediately on Sergio Perez. A little bit slow on the exit of that final corner, but moving past one of the Red Bull cars instantly. Exactly what we need to be doing at this stage of the race there, but surely we're going to hopefully be able to pick off cars fairly quickly. As George Russell, Aiden Jackson once again just in front of us. Can we have a look to the inside of George? Or he thought about trying to turn in there, but I think just spotted us at the last second. And Aiden, again, very, very little grip in the other car. Don't make any contact, please. And there we go, up then into P5 of this race. We've got just Norris, Verstappen, and those two Ferraris to get round. And again, Lando Norris should be a bit of a sitting duck in that McLaren car here as we try and power our way down the back straight. Looks like he has got pretty decent top-end speed, actually. So we will just try and slip one to the inside into the next braking zone. Through we will go. Is that Sainz? Yeah, Sainz is the one in P2. That is still one of the other objectives that we've got to try and achieve in this race. But Charles Leclerc trying to break free at the front. And after the ragged race we ran back out at the Zandvoort circuit, we just want to try and make sure that we keep things fairly cool, calm and collected around this venue here. Next up though, the Dutchman, they're trying to outscore Red Bull and close back in the gap at the top of the Constructors' standings. Surely we can get the run on him out of the final corner there. Plenty of curb through the entry. Maybe Sainz is trying to back everybody else up there. His new fastest lap of the day will go. DRS now has been enabled as well then. So slow the car down in towards turn 1. Don't want to try and go too aggressively for manoeuvres at the moment, but we'll power down off of that first corner. Surely we can get the drive on Carlos. And there we go, splitting the Ferraris in this race. Leclerc not too far away either. Charles Leclerc then has broken away from everybody else here at a rapid rate of knots, so he seems to be the only car able to keep up with the Monegasque man as we head into the final 3 laps then of the US Grand Prix. But we definitely have still got a little bit extra pace over Charlie Boy here, trying to get the power down against the Ferrari through that final corner. Our laps so far have been very consistent. I mean, look at that. Clean around the outside then of Leclerc by the time we get up towards turn 1. And that hopefully is going to put us into the lead of the Grand Prix for good. I guess I also couldn't have been more wrong about trying to bring Callie and Devon's parents back together inside this series. I definitely got the vibe of that conversation the wrong way round. But in towards the final few corners then of the US Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc and myself, we have been leagues above everybody else. And well, for us, this one is a bit of redemption for Imola. Probably could have won that race. We were drag racing with Leclerc back towards the line. But the Tifosi got a home race victory that they will, well, be very, very happy with, I'm sure. But through the final few corners of the US Grand Prix, it is Connor Sport's turn back on top this weekend. Callie, our 3rd win of the year. I think we can be pretty happy with that one.
Oh, you worked hard for that one. Congratulations. Well done.
Yes!
Well, talk about taking advantage. Maya was really nowhere to be seen until the safety car. What a turnaround.
Yeah, that result keeps the team competitive at the top of the table. She recovered really well for an impressive finish at the end there.
And following a significant dip in form, I think there's a glimmer of hope for Connor Sport today, and they've kept pace with Ferrari in the battle between the top 3. And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. So congratulations then to Connor Sport, your race winners today.
Well, there we go then. After another victory, the safety car manages to give Callie Mayer the opportunity to reset her race and turn her fortunes around at the US Grand Prix, allowing Connor Sport to earn some much-needed points in their battle with Red Bull for the Constructors' Championship.
Hey, have you seen Callie anywhere?
Yeah, she's around there.
There you are. What are you doing back here?
You know, everyone's looking for you.
That's precisely why I'm back here.
You okay?
It's not meant to be like this. I haven't even cried. Just feel sick.
What do you mean?
Well, when someone dies, you're supposed to let it all out, right? Cry and gnash your teeth and wail. And I just can't. He was never there for me, Aiden, so nothing's changed.
It's all right, Carl.
I see Devon upset and I resent him for it. It's different for Devon, it always was. And I've tried blanking it out, suck it up and drive, you know. But all I can think is I'm doing exactly what the great Davidoff Butler would have wanted me to do. And I hate him for it. Then I remember he's gone, and the whole cycle starts again.
You need to talk to someone about this, Callie.
What do you think I am doing?
Oh, I was scared there. I was scared we were going to see a kiss between Aiden Jackson and Callie Meyer. That would not have been good. I don't think... Well, I can't imagine we've ever seen a couple racing as a team inside Formula 1. But into Chapter 6 then. Let's see what's going down. We're here in Sao Paulo. In the closing stages of the Brazilian Grand Prix, Connorsport's Callie Meyer suffers minor front wing damage while defending her position on track. With only a handful of laps remaining, she makes the call to stay out and defend her position to the checkered flag.
Okay, feedback on the front wing, please. How's it feeling?
I can manage it till the end.
Okay, listen, we'll leave you to it then. Go for it.
Right, well, there we are then. We're currently, I believe, in P4 then, but we've got a Red Bull right in front of us, so we need to try and get the jump on them. Maybe Devon's weird gentleman who wants to try and sell us things and give Callie some kind of weird potion that'll make her cry or something like that. I don't really know, but anyways, we just try and settle in. I want to try and move the brake bias a bit forward. I have to remember to keep doing it in every single challenge we do. 58% isn't too bad, but it's also not ideal as... Let's have a look. How bad is that front wing damage? It looks to be pretty minor.
Okay to use your overtake button.
Couldn't really see anything on the HUD, but I would assume it's Verstappen leading the Grand Prix with 3 laps to go. Let's just see if we can get ahead of Perez there and complete the other objective inside this race. I am trying to kind of 100% it if I possibly can. First time of asking. As we try and get the power down then out of the final corner to the inside of Sergio will go. I'm sure Red Bull will not be happy to see him not really defending that position as much as he should have. But new personal best for the day. Will we be able to get to Sainz and Verstappen by the end though? I'm not convinced. I have made a couple of minor errors in this one. But yeah, I don't think... We certainly wouldn't have had the pace to get to max by the end. We maybe, if I nailed it, have got around Carlos Sainz before the checkered flag here. But to get back past Perez, to, you know, bring that point swing ever so slightly back in our favour again is really, really important. Easily, I think, the shortest challenge we've had so far in this game. I wonder if we're going to kind of do like a rewind and go try and do this from Aiden's POV. But it is going to be third here in Brazil.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So as we come into this tail end of the season, you just get a feeling that Connorsport are just losing their edge.
They're just not bringing enough points to the table every weekend, are they, Crofty? They're losing touch with Red Bull.
And Ferrari are nipping at their heels too. So is there enough time to turn things around? On this form, I'm not so sure. The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They've performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
Callie, clearly some front wing damage there at the end of the race. You decided not to pit. Just talk us through that decision.
Yeah, we definitely made the right call there. We even gained a spot towards the end. Let's stand confident with Natalie Pinkham.
Yeah, look, in a situation like that, I'm going to go for the option with the highest potential gain. There may have been a time where Connor Sport were happy to even finish in the points, but that time is well behind us now. We're in a title fight, and you just can't beat Red Bull by playing it safe. Staying out there, it might have looked like a risk, but really it wasn't. It was the right call.
Well, clearly you lost some ground to Red Bull today. Just a few races left in the season. How concerned are you?
We got time to catch up. There's a few more races to go this season, a couple of sprints remaining. I think we can do it.
It's not what we're hoping for, but we've still got time left to close the gap. And we've all seen how much ground Connor Sport can close on Red Bull when it counts. Today wasn't ideal, but Connor Sport will continue to fight for the title.
You seem to have lost some momentum, certainly that we saw earlier in the season. What do you put that down to?
I think we've had a lot to deal with this season. I'm not going to blame ourselves. We're not going to say we lack experience. We're going to shift the blame elsewhere.
Well, it's been a rough old season, and I think it's taken its toll. Everyone on the team is feeling the pressure, and we've all been through a lot. So it's no excuse, but it's just the way things are. And we need to put it all behind us and keep moving forward.
And finally, Callie, I just wanted to ask how you're doing. It has been a really tough few weeks. The team, for your family. I mean, how has it been racing with everything that's been going on?
We'll go with that one.
Yeah, it's tough, to be honest. I've always said that I should let my racing do the talking, but maybe I do need to look at what I'm doing off the track too.
Well, thank you for chatting with us. Great to have your time.
Well, after then the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, an impressive defensive drive under difficult conditions sees Callie hold on in Brazil. Whatever, there is much discussion as to whether it was the right call to make under the circumstances, with some believing she had time to pit and improve her position. I doubt that highly. We've got a few more bits then with Casper before we head into the next chapter. So Devon is really pushing for the sponsorship deal with Harmonia. They're a stricken cosmetic brand currently in the middle of a big lawsuit that claims their products are harmful. They want to partner with an F1 team to strengthen their brand. I am going to veto that one. We do not want to be doing anything like that. Devon was really annoyed about your discussion to not bring the health guru friend on board. A few team members took some strays from him when he was ranting and raving about it. As a result, morale took a bit of a hit around the team in general for a few days. That is not ideal either. Just doesn't feel like we can make any right decisions at the moment. But anyway, let's head then into our next chapter. This might be the final one of the 2024 season. Oh, we've got a phone call coming in. Before I do that, though, let's wait and see.
Hey, Cal, everything okay? I saw your interview today.
I don't know. I think I'm going a bit insane.
More than usual?
All right, old man.
Okay. I mean, jokes aside, I understand. I think, given the circumstances, you're doing really well. Is there anything you need from me? I mean, can I help?
Well, I think I changed my mind and I'd like to give therapy a go. Is that okay? Not too late?
Never too late. I'll set it all up for you.
Cool. I'm a bit nervous about it. I find it hard to talk to people.
Hey, you talk to me?
I guess so. Okay. Thanks. I'm going to run now and get in the ice bath, but chat soon?
Chat soon. Bye, Cal.
Oh, well, is Casper becoming a bit of a father figure inside the series as well? Only time will tell.
Time to pick, Cass. Why didn't we get that wing replaced?
It was marginal. We asked Callie how the car felt and she wanted to push.
She's becoming a liability.
No, she's driving well.
No, you need to keep an eye on her.
I do?
These are your drivers, Casper. You need to keep them in check. That includes Callie. If she's not behaving herself, that's your responsibility, mate.
I know.
Because I'm telling you now, there is something wrong with her.
Are you okay?
She's not right in the head. Why can't anyone else see it?
Well, she's coping. So?
She should be sad. Why isn't she sad?
It's complicated for her.
Oh, and it's not for me?
I didn't mean it like that.
So what did you mean then, Casper? How is it different for her?
Huh? It's none of my business. Oh, poor Callie, but Devon's all right. Devon will be fine, no problems. Is that it? Oh, come on, Devon. Yeah, and only the wise Casper Ackerman can possibly understand her grief. Huh? No, tell me. Yeah? Enlighten me, Casper. How is it different for her? I mean, she's your favorite after all, right? That's not what this is about, is it? No. How is it different for her? How is the death of my father different for her? Because your father had 2 kids, and he only raised 1. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. You know what, Casper? I think Connor Sport needs a change of direction. It wasn't my place. Yeah. That's, I'm not convinced you're making optimal decisions. Title slipped away. Come on, Devon. I've been thinking about it for a while, actually. Let's just talk about this. Your services at Connor Sport are no longer required, mate. I hereby terminate your contract. Are you for real? With immediate effect. Ciao, Casper. Close the door on the way out.
Well, where is he now?
I don't know, he's just gone.
Call him. Get him to come back.
Oh, hang on, wait. Where are you going?
I'm gonna talk some sense into that idiot brother of mine. We are not doing this without Casper.
Callie talked to him, and Aiden too. They tried to get him to change his mind. They were angry. Well, I was angry.
Did you try to change his mind?
No, Devon and I didn't talk again for a while.
And then what happened?
Well, that was that. I went home.
Big drama then towards the end of the season. We're head to Qatar for Chapter 7. The team reeling following a poor run of form and the dismissal of team principal Casper Ackerman. Devon Butler looks to a familiar face to help right the ship at Connor Sport. I'm going to guess it's going to be Andre O'Connor, but imagine if it's Lucas Weber coming back all the way from F1 2019. That would be fantastic. So we've got the option to pick our driver for this one. We've done everything pretty much as Callie so far, so I think we're going to pick Aiden Jackson for a change. You'll play as this driver for the rest of this chapter. Are you sure you want to proceed? Yeah, I guess why not.
Were you worried about the team's performance without Casper?
No. I had a plan.
What plan?
Getting a new team principal. Or an old one.
So, why did you take the position as team principal at Connor Sport, having stepped down from the role only 2 seasons prior?
You have kids?
Yes.
Okay, so one of them calls you and says, I need you. You're there, right? Any parent would be. Connor Sport was my child, my baby. I made that team. I would do anything for them. But I made it clear to Devon that I would only accept that job on a temporary basis.
Well, there we go. No surprises there. It is Andre O'Connor back in the seat. But anyway, let's head then here to the Qatar Grand Prix. So mid-race, Andre O'Connor hopes for an easy first race back as team principal, dashed early in the offing as Callie Mayer is forced to retire from the Qatar Grand Prix following an engine fault. The responsibility now falls to Aiden Jackson to try and salvage as many points as possible for Connor Sport.
Right, Callie's had to retire from the race. So it's just me then. Yep, just you, Aiden. Let's go.
Well, we seem to be a little bit like Red Bulls so far this season. Normally we've got one driver doing pretty well and the other one having a terrible time of things. Of course, for Red Bull, it's usually just Perez having a terrible time of things, but we've got to try and finish the race in third as Hamilton immediately decides he doesn't want anything to do with me and will peel into the pit lane. Sainz is about 2.5 seconds up the road. There is, I believe, Lando Norris in that final podium spot. But maybe, just maybe, we can recover for a win. Our first up then on the old hit list is going to be Oscar Piastri here. See, a fairly quiet campaign for him and McLaren so far. Hasn't really had many more standout results. He's certainly got to be a bit more careful through that corner. Again, on F1 24, you would have never had any problems through there, so Really liking to see kind of the tweaks and changes for F125's braking point. Around the outside of Oscar Piastri there, really trying to pinch him to that apex through the final corner. We should get the DRS though on Carlos Sainz on the run back down into turn 1. New fastest lap of the day. Oh, come on, I don't want to be sat behind Sainz for too long. To the inside, a big, brave manoeuvre. Luckily, turn 1, the radius isn't too extreme. And we are up into 4th. No, no!
I've got a puncture. Yep, copy. Box. Just when you think nothing else can go wrong.
Well, I really had wondered for a second there whether that was actually scripted or not, but we'll bolt on a set of softs then for the final 4 laps, clearly taking some inspiration from the 2023 Grand Prix. But into the pit lane will have to go. I mean, that was well hidden. They kind of surprised us with that one. There's a big gap back to Sergio Perez a little bit further down the order, but I don't think we're going to be out ahead of him. I think the goal now will probably be just try and score some points in this race then, but diving in, fairly clean, tidy pit stop, I hope. 2.4 seconds is not bad going. We're going to be out behind Perez. We're probably going to be out behind Gasly as well. I hope we can get the jump on the Mercedes and the Aston Martin. Alonso there making his way down. We've stayed ahead we've stayed ahead of Gasly, sorry, as Hamilton gets the run on Alonso. I think we've actually ended up coming out further ahead than the game thought we would. Because now all we've got to try and do is finish in 8th. We're currently 7th though, and 6th is right there. Rounding outside the checker, we've got so much more grip. A fresh set of the soft compound tyres against the Red Bull on a worn set of mediums. Thought he was going to try and turn in on me there, so I had to just try and commit a little bit over the apex curb, but 19 seconds to Piastri. I don't think we're going to get back by him by the end, so this is now just about bringing the car home. Can't believe I'm actually saying this, but on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. We have taken 20 seconds out of Oscar Piastri here, and are steadily closing in on him towards the end of the GP. Let's just see what we can do through these final few corners then. I mean, Carlos Sainz only a couple of seconds up the road, but there seems to be such a huge deficit between fresher and worn tyres inside this game. And of course, with the AI, of course, not being as strong in braking point anyway, makes life a little bit easier as well there. We've been able to get past Oscar, but we might be able to recover for a P4 finish here, depending on how quick Sainz is through these final few turns. Ferrari's tyres absolutely wrecked, and of course we heard after Brazil that Ferrari was starting to get a bit closer to us yet again. Through the final few corners though here, it is going to be Leclerc that will claim yet another victory so far this season. Not quite enough time to get back to Carlos, but a very good recovery drive to come through for 5th. Happy with that.
Nice one. Good work, everyone.
Doesn't matter which way you look at it, Ant, that's a poor result for Connor Sport today.
Yeah, it certainly is. They would have hoped for a better weekend than that. You had one driver out the race altogether, another one dealing with a puncture. That's really cost them dear.
And it's put to bed any notion that they can still compete for the championship, I think. At Red Bull, comfortable at the top of the standings, and Ferrari now leapfrog Connor Sport into 2nd. Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again.
Well, there we are then, after Connor Sport's Nightmare Racing Qatar seals their fate for the 2024 season. As a result, sends a surging Ferrari team past them in the Constructors. You can definitely tell the start of this script. It looked like Red Bull were going to be a bit safer early on in 2024. Then, of course, obviously McLaren ended up being their closest challenger as well. But, yeah, just quite funny, of course. You can tell roughly when they were trying to decide all this last year. But let's see what happens post-race. We've got a few more conversations then. Of course, Connor back in the team. So Eckenberger, the watch firm we shot a campaign for a number of months ago, would like to use the footage they shot before Davidov's passing. They wonder if it isn't a fitting legacy to the man and the team and the family. He helped. Shall we give them permission to use the material for marketing? I don't think it's respectful to do so. We will say no to that one and make ourselves even more enemies, because no matter what I pick, people seem to get quite unhappy inside this game as well. Let's head, though, into Chapter 8. Let's see what we got next. Well, we've had another one come through then quickly. Butler Global's board have told us that Connorsport are not financially solvent. They're providing numbers which make grim reading. They've asked for the team to make some cutbacks to get the finances under control. How would you like to deal with this? I don't like it, but we should... Some choice cuts may keep them off our back for a while. I'll contact Devon to get him to agree. I think, no, we've got to try and fight still. We need the constructors' money, so we'll stall on that decision. Here we are then at the Ackerman residence with Connorsport hopes for a world championship now dashed. Former team principal Casper Ackerman watches the season finale in Abu Dhabi from the comfort of his home.
As once again, it's Max Verstappen, champion of the world. Red Bull, brilliant celebrations.
You know, I'd sacrificed so much for Formula One. I wouldn't have played it any other way, but Lily was growing up fast. And I'd already retired once. And I did a bit of mentoring for Callie just to keep myself busy. And, well, before I knew it, I was team principal at Connorsport, and it just took over my life again. I think with F1, I was an addict.
Dad, you ready?
And I was missing more birthdays, school plays, stupid stuff. Really important stuff. So, yeah, I think Devon did me a favor. For once, I felt I was exactly where I needed to be. And I wasn't going anywhere.
Well, back then in Australia, the start of the new season, Chapter 8. After a disappointing end to the 2024 season, now firmly behind them, Connorsport look to start their 2025 season in a similar fashion to the last, with a strong start at the inaugural race in Melbourne. Let's see what decisions we've got to make now then. There seems to be a lot of these going through at the moment. Turns out Harmonia have been found guilty in court. It's a bit of an example of how to run a prosecution. Looks like it's going to be a landmark case. We're hoping that this would all go away with a non-guilty verdict, but there's going to be a hefty fee and a potential jail time. The press are asking for us to comment. With Connorsport planning a sponsorship deal with them, how do you handle this? I think we'll downplay it, or I think we'll downplay it. Obviously, just say it was a polite chat. One of many other options. Otherwise, you know, we don't want to be getting in with shady business inside this game. Let's head, though, here to Australia. Let's see what's going to happen. We got another decision to try and make as well, as we clearly are losing rep. Our head of aerodynamics, Vontae Gould, is still leading development on an upgrade package, but progress continues to be slow to result from the wind tunnel not being represented on the track. We need to bring some performance gains soon. How do you proceed? Immediately replace them with their assistant Sarah, who was previously overlooked for a promotion. Encourage them or warn them. I think we'll replace them. You know what? We'll create some beef. So we've got to try and finish P4 or above, or dissolve the partnership. And then we have got to try and beat Piastri and Antonelli. I think we will try and dissolve the partnership and see how we get on. Big calls having to be made at the moment, and we've not even made it to the Australian Grand Prix. A difficult Saturday for Connorsport, and Aiden Jackson resulted in a less than ideal starting position for the Australian Grand Prix. However, the team hope a late pit stop may provide the opportunity to steal a few positions from their rivals in the closing stages of the race.
It's been a a terrific day here in Melbourne so far. Loving the action, but I would say not loving the lack of surprises.
A bit predictable, yeah, you're right, Crofty, with Red Bull. They've hit the ground running here in Melbourne. The car looks like a dream to drive. The one thing that surprised me, though, this weekend is that Connor Sport haven't really been there. In qualifying, they weren't there, and in the race today as well.
You're not wrong, Ant, but look, Jackson's just made a late stop here, so maybe he can salvage something.
Well, he's going to immediately pick himself up a 5-second penalty. Definitely went over the pit lane exit line there, so yeah, that one I'm sure will be seen to the stewards after the Grand Prix, but a few battles going on just in front of us there, I believe. That's one of the V-Carbs and the Hasses, but nice to get a full look, of course, at all of the 2025 liveries. Where is Andrea, Kimi, Antonelli, and Oscar Piastri there, 5 and 6 seconds up the road each. It's all agile there, having to move out of the way thanks to blue flags. We'll get some DRS as well, though. But of course, obviously, yeah, if you missed out on the Australian Grand Prix video we did earlier on, go back, check it out, because it was a really, really good fun one. Of course, obviously, in the driver, the driver career mode as well. I haven't actually recorded that one yet at the time I'm recording this video, but around the outside of Ollie Behrman. Straight back up then into 9th as Callie, the next car in front. All over the back then of our teammate Callie Mayer. Often it's been the other way around, trying to get not overtaken for Aiden Jackson so far this season. The main objective though is to try and finish 7th with the fastest lap. But as we go purple through Sector 1, surely that is going to be purple through Sector 2 as well. And all of these cars just fitting beautifully for us there. Trying to get a run on George Russell down in towards the final few corners. Flying our way back up through the pack. Similar vibes to what we had to do towards the end of last season. There is Kimi Antonelli and Oscar Piastri, our two main targets as well, towards the end of the Grand Prix. Really struggling to kind of meet the apex through that penultimate corner. We're still doing a good job. Hopefully this is about to be a new fastest lap of the race as well. 1:18.8, that will obliterate that. So let's see if we can try and get a run then on these two. Both of them really struggling in the early stages of this, or kind of the late stages, I guess I should say, of this Grand Prix. Past Kimi Antonelli, down the inside of Oscar Piastri as well. A very aggressive double overtake, but we are through and up into P5. Well, I think Charles Leclerc then is meant to be the last car you can overtake sensibly in this Grand Prix then, because our top 3, Lando Norris, Perez and Verstappen, have a huge margin up at the front of the order. Like I've mentioned, I definitely need to do a challenge where we go through and try and win every single challenge we can inside this game. But as we start the last lap then of the Australian Grand Prix, surely we're going to be able to get the run on Leclerc back in towards turn 1. Oh, soft tyres against a worn-out set of hards. Thank you very much. Up then into P4 we will go. But yeah, I think... Oh no, it's Lawson. Okay. So they had put Lawson in the car for a braking point as well then. Of course, that doesn't happen at all in career mode. Of course, yeah, obviously Perez isn't in the seat anymore. But it's still quite funny, kind of just the few little mistakes they've made with the game. Because, of course, Lawson wasn't even in the Red Bull by the time we got back to... Oh, no, he was, obviously, wasn't he? Australia first round of the season, not the third. But yeah, very, very funny, kind of, you know, they try and run a similar narrative to what they're expecting from the real-life Formula 1 Championship as well. And obviously, yeah, a lot of things have very, very quickly been altered. But through the final few corners, though, it is going to be Max Verstappen then that is going to kick-start the year with victory here in Albert Park. Really, our rival should be McLaren ready throughout the course of this campaign. But as we navigate our way then, Verstappen will take victory through the final couple of turns. Oh, we run a little bit wide through there. Just got to be very, very careful. Don't want to bottle it right at the very end. We are going to complete all of our objectives once again. The final turn, P4 here in Albert Park. A decent recovery at the end of the race.
Yes, mate, I'll take that. Well done. We're really happy with the podium down here, so well done. Yes! Frustrating one, but we did all we could.
Well, there you have it. A fresh start for everyone here in Melbourne. But is it the start that they would have wanted? Well, for many teams, I think the answer will be no.
Yeah, Red Bull establishing themselves early on, which should come as no surprise. It will be fascinating, though, to see if any other team can step up and keep pace with them this year.
Yeah, an intriguing start to this 2025 season. Can't wait to see what it brings. Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Well, there we are then. Post-race, Aiden Jackson manages to bring home the Connor car to life in the dying stages and rescue some much-needed points for the team in the season opener. Whatever happens, though, I'm sure Devon will not be happy. Well, heading to Shanghai then, as the F1 grid heads to the Chinese Grand Prix, Devon Butler looks to light a spark under a Connor Sport team that is yet to reach its full potential this season. I'm going to hazard a guess and say this is going to be a bad plan from Devon.
The board won't do anything extreme.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Let me draft something for you, Devon. Leave it with me.
Right, I just want a couple of minutes of your time, then I'll hand you over to Andrea. We have the resources this season. We've got a great team, and we've got my expertise to guide us. I don't know how else to tell you, but we have to make another title run.
Shame we don't have the guy who led us in the title race last season.
You let it go, Cal. Casper doesn't want to come back.
I'm not surprised.
They were at each other constantly. They never really reconciled over Davidoff. Callie was still angry about Casper. Yeah, it was rough.
Okay, so it'll be a two-stop.
Yeah, you can tell Mike you absolutely can play over the dog leg on a third because I've done it, mate. Yeah. Ciao, man. You saying?
The data suggests we are looking at a two-stop race. We think Red Bull will do the same, so we are relying on your performance, okay?
Why not go for a one-stop?
Devon, the data says...
Yeah. Listen, you don't beat Red Bull by copying them. Go for a one-stop with a long second stint. I've spoken to the strategist. Trust me, it's going to work.
We have a plan. We go with the data.
It's worth considering.
Seriously? Who do you want to side with, Aiden? The guy who spent weeks formulating strategy and analysing data, or the guy who's desperately trying to do 3 different jobs at the same time?
You got something to say, Cal?
Who are you trying to be, Dev? The CEO of Butler Global? The owner of Connor Sport Racing? Or the team principal?
I have to look after all of it. It's kind of my job now.
Just because Dad told you to doesn't mean you should.
What I say goes.
But you don't drive the car anymore, Dev. So I think when we're on the track, we go with Andrea's plan, the plan that's actually backed by the data. Aiden?
Yeah,
Jackson, don't you dare.
You don't win a race on a hunch, Dev.
She's got a point. Sorry.
Okay, we'll leave it there for now. Two-stop, as discussed. Thank you, everyone. I'll be in the garage in a few minutes. Find me if you need me. I welcome your ideas. You know that. But this division is bad for the team. You should speak to me first.
You think I'm doing too much?
Yes.
Was that it?
Callie's right.
Well, more and more beef then between the team. It feels like everybody pretty much hates everybody else at the moment. But let's head then here to Shanghai. We'll see what we've got coming up. Andrea again with more decisions to make.
We need your input on this one.
Our reserve driver's contract is coming to an end after the 25 season. In the past, he's always expressed how happy he is here and he would like to continue his journey with the team. However, his agent has been in contact and is painting a much different picture. They're saying that Noah has been unhappy for some time now and is feeling undervalued. There is also some chatter in the paddock that there is real interest from other teams on the grid, altogether, they are clearly communicating to us that Noah should be on a better contract going forward if we want to retain his services for the 26th season. I think we're going to call their bluff. Let's be fair, this is about Aiden and Callie. Hopefully it's not going to make a difference long term. So I think we're going to tell them, look, if you want to try and go elsewhere, you try it. See what happens, buddy. Anyway, hopefully we're going to be ready to head now properly to Shanghai. So an untimely safety car has put Callie Mayer in a difficult position in the late stages of the Chinese Grand Prix. Having pitted prior to the safety car, Mayer now finds herself on older tyres than her rivals behind her. Looks like it's going to be a defensive one then. Whether we're doing a 1 or a 2 stop is yet to be decided.
Okay, so that safety car wasn't too helpful for us. We are going to need you to hang on to these tyres right till the end now, please, Callie.
I'm losing grip out here.
Yeah, I know, copy that. But there isn't much we can do about that. Let's focus and see if we can hold off those that are coming up behind.
Well, Lewis Hamilton then, apparently tucked up behind us then, ready for this restart. So going to be really, really tricky to try and defend from him. We have... Oh, no, sorry, yeah. Charles Leclerc 3 seconds up in front. Max Verstappen even further than that, but only 3 laps remaining then in the Grand Prix. Just as always, try and just tweak our brake bias and everything else. But normally, yeah, the AI aren't too competitive in this mod anyway, or mod in story mode, I should say. So hopefully we're going to be able to keep Lewis back. Not too sure why some of these stories are becoming so short at the moment. A little bit peculiar, but I'm not going to complain too much. That's annoying then. I think that glitch still exists then, what we used to have on F1 24. So occasionally Mark will get a little bit confused, and I assume now we won't be able to request any other kind of messages or anything. No, we cannot. So that's a little bit annoying then. Why have EA not patched that? I was okay with it like being an annoying bug in one game, but the fact that it hasn't even changed for F1 25 is a little bit disappointing. That being said though, Hamilton, we are keeping him at bay. Not going to be under much pressure, but Leclerc and Verstappen have absolutely bolted free. Well, we certainly wouldn't have had the pace to get to Verstappen or Leclerc on this hardest difficulty, but we have been able to hold the gap pretty stable at about 2 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton here. So as we make our way in towards the final few corners then, like I said, these last couple of chapters have been really short, but Verstappen's going to claim victory once more here. Back-to-back wins to kickstart the 2025 season. Leclerc and P2, we will bag a podium.
We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Callie Mayer, what an impressive drive that was today. The safety car came out at just about the worst time, but she hung on, really impressively turning it into a good result.
It's what a good driver has to do, Crofty, make the best out of a bad situation. It clearly wasn't their plan, but she managed her tyres beautifully there at the end.
And managed it to the extent that Connor Sport now move into 3rd place, just behind Ferrari in the standings. Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Callie, that safety car really did throw a spanner in the works for you today. How on earth did you manage to cope so well with the change of strategy?
Oh, I think it's safe to say we adapted well to the situation as a team. Happy with the outcome. Oh, apparently I can't pick that one. That's a bit of a shame. I'll say we're pleased with the result.
It was tough out there today, and I could really feel the tyres giving up towards the end. I just focused on keeping the input smooth, reducing the strain as much as possible. It wasn't a great place to find myself in, but I'm pleased with what I achieved, given the circumstances.
And congratulations are in order. Connor Sport are now third in the Constructors. How significant is that for the team?
It's useful, it's helpful, but it's not quite P1. I'm adamant with every interview as well we do in this game. She becomes more and more robotic again.
It's huge for the team. Andrea's done a great job, so has Aiden, and every single person in this Connor Sport team has been working flat out to maximise the car. To be this high up on the table is the result of a massive team effort, so yeah, you know, feels good to see the team's hard work starting to pay off.
How important was this race for you personally, given such a tough start to the season?
I think it helps build the confidence.
This kind of race, you know, it can help to build confidence, and confidence is important for me. I just need to carry on this momentum to the next race.
Well, a good showing today, and that is despite the controversy about a potential deal with Harmonia. Tell me how hard it is to put that just to one side and perform on track.
We'll tell them we're asking the wrong person.
Look, my job is to race. That's all I do. What happens above me, I mean, sure, I can say what I think, but ultimately you are asking the wrong person.
Finally, away from the track, it must have been a bittersweet moment seeing the Eichenberger ad campaign released of you and your dad. How's it been putting that out?
I thought we told them that they weren't allowed to do that. I thought we said it was distasteful, so we were consulted, but apparently not.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. My relationship with Dad is complicated, so, you know, it's for me to manage that. And obviously, it's a bit of a mix between personal and business. I just wish I was consulted.
Thank you so much for your time.
Well, post-race then here from Shanghai. Callie Mayer, there's a strong finish for Connor Sport in Shanghai, albeit one predicted upon a strategy remarkably similar to the one she openly rejected when proposed by her brother Devon. So I'm assuming we're going to see more beef post-race.
Callie.
What?
If this is going to work, you're going to have to start listening to me.
I'm the one that needs to listen.
The one stop was the right call.
It was a hunch. We got lucky.
Connor Sport can't afford to have a driver that's constantly fighting the owner.
Right, so first you fire Casper, and now it's me. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm not afraid to make changes.
Threatening my career to keep a check on me. Now, why does that feel familiar?
Don't make this about him.
Then stop acting like him.
The whole world is comparing me to the old man. And now it seems my own sister's joining the act. Great.
You inherited the empire. The business goes to you, all to you, and yet somehow you're the victim.
You think this is easy for me?
No, I just think it's all about you.
It's about the team, Callie. Listen to me, this season must be a success.
It's your team, Dev, so whatever you want.
You know what? You're right. It is my team. I did inherit the empire. So that means you do what I say next time.
How about you work with the team?
I own the team!
But you're not part of it. What is your official role? You keep trying to do Andrea's job. You're throwing mad ideas out there, hoping to get lucky, and then disappearing off to take phone calls every 5 minutes. You are all over the place, Dev. You are panicking. And panicking doesn't win titles.
I need to take this. Mike.
Oh, you're a joke.
Hello, mate. Yeah, no, amazing, yeah.
I thought these two were friends again by the end of last campaign, but apparently not anymore. Anyway, where are we heading to next? Apparently... Oh, here we go. We're going to Barcelona. So, frustrated with the constant arguing between the Connor Sport siblings, Aiden Jackson takes it upon himself to try and mend the relationship between his teammate Callie Mayer and his teammate and team owner Devon Butler. If I was him, I'd just be off to Red Bull or something like that, to be completely honest.
It was too much. Constant fights between Devon and Callie. I took it upon myself to get them talking again, outside of official Connor Sport business.
And how did that go?
Just let them adjust the camber cow, take it out next practice, see how it feels. It's no big deal.
It's not your call, Devon.
Look, if we have a good weekend, we overtake Ferrari. I'm just trying to... Oh! No. Hello, mate. All right. Yeah, I was just about to call you about that, actually. That's
Callie, all right, buddy?
Buddy?
Yeah, buddy, buds, compadre.
Looks like the Aiden bot has finally malfunctioned. Are you alright?
Just saying hello.
You're being weird, Aiden. What's going on?
You should talk to him.
Who?
Your brother?
You know what he's like. He's difficult.
Callie, it's important. Look,
I'm
you
getting
can't
a drink. Do you want a drink? Coffee? Smoothie?
More decisions to be made. However, I'm far more interested. What was Carlos Sainz having an argument with someone about? That was quite funny in the background to watch on. Our first upgrade package a month ago was a success, but now it's time for a major redesign led by Sarah after her promotion. The performance gains will be massive. However, due to unexpected resource issues, we'll only have enough parts manufactured by the weekend for one driver. Who do you want to give it to? I think we will give it to... you know what? I feel like we probably should go with Aiden, so for exactly that reason I'm going to say Callie. Stir the pot a little bit more, maybe try and mend their relationship. So let's head then here to Barcelona. So we've actually been given the option to pick between the two drivers anyway, so I think we'll pick Callie for this one. I've done quite a few as Aiden recently, and we'll enjoy those new upgrades on the car. So, yep, I think we're ready to proceed. So, mid-race then here in Barcelona. Wet conditions have turned the Spanish Grand Prix on its head. Hoping to capitalise on the difficult conditions, Callie Mayer takes the fight to her rivals on track.
How's the weather looking?
I mean, I'm no weatherman, but I am expecting it to ease off at some point. I'm going to let you know when to come in. You just keep your head down.
Copy that.
I mean, Mark Bay could have been much more useful. You know, he's the one with all the data back in the pit lane, so, he should basically be the weatherman at the moment. But getting ready, we've got 9 laps remaining of the Spanish Grand Prix. Could we see the circuit dry out? It is certainly not looking that wet around the venue. We've got to try and finish 5th with fastest lap, or apparently monitor conditions and push for a higher position. Nice to see, obviously, the bridge has been added as well to this circuit. I said about that on MotoGP a few weeks ago. Obviously wasn't on F1 24, finally been implemented for F1 25, and these conditions are going to be so difficult then as we try and navigate our way around the circuit. I believe Hamilton, though, is actually leading the race in his Ferrari, so could be seeing the Tifosi being happy today.
On the right tyre for the time being, but we're probably not a million miles away from slick conditions.
Well, there we go, that is going to be interesting then. Are we going to see a changeover by the end of the afternoon? Only time will tell. But can we have a look for a run down the inside of Antonelli in towards turn 1 there? He has to jump out the way, but through we will go. And up then into P9. Of course, we got past him and Oscar Piastri late on in the day back in Albert Park, Australia. So that bump on the exit of turn 3, lethal every single time. Quite funny, I just don't think EA envisioned Oscar Piastri to be the dominant force so far in 2025, at least at the time of recording, but to the outside on the exit of Kampsa then. Looks like the AI actually got some very good straight line speed.
0.6 seconds.
We have got to be close to the changeover period though. 7 laps remaining of this race. I don't know whether we can make the call early or whether we've got to wait for the game to kind of make the call for us. But yeah, I mean, we've surely got to be into the pit lane soon. Gonna leave it one more lap and then we might dive in. Oh, there we go, DRS enabled.
DRS is now enabled.
I think then last lap could have been the time actually to dive into the pit lane, so that's exactly what we're going to do at the end of this one. I'm hoping we're not going to see too many other cars into the pit lane. So I'll just try and box pit confirm with the team.
Now, we're going to have to change strategy, so it's time to box.
Yep, team want us in at the end of this lap, so at least we know that's happening. Oh no, Aiden though is in the pit lane. So that's going to be a little bit awkward for us. We're not too close behind him. So we should be okay. Some of the lap traffic opting to stay out though as we throw the car into the pit lane. Try and make sure that we get it slowed down nice and tidy. Just about get it stopped on the marks there on the pit lane entry. But as we see Leclerc in, Liam Lawson in, and a handful of other drivers as well. Aiden Jackson right down the far end of the pit lane. We came 3rd in the Constructors last year. Surely we should be back down that end. As, oh, come on. Quick stop team, please. It's not going to be a quick one. That is annoying. We're going to come out, I think, just behind Liam Lawson still in this race. And luckily, we haven't lost anything. But yeah, Andrea Kimi Antonelli was right there as we try and get back out on the track. I think some of the AI then are just trying to stay out as long as they possibly can for some reason. Not that many laps left of the Grand Prix. And I think Lando Norris, he either pit very early and has got a huge lead or hasn't pit yet and he's just trying to limp around the circuit as we close up to the back then of Liam Lawson, surely on the run back to turn 1. This is going to be fairly easy to navigate by as Tsunoda, new fastest lap of the day. Oh, Lawson there trying to give me a big old squeeze. Yep, there's Yuki. He's on the Inter still, so I think Lando is on the same strategy. Very bold call late on in the Grand Prix today. It's certainly not working out for Tsunoda though. As you can see instantly how much time we take out of him through turn 3. I'll try and get on with the move though to the inside. And there we go, up then into 7th spot. Gasly in that all-important P5. But we're going quicker than Leclerc as well. We go Leclerc new fastest lap. We will go even quicker though. 1:14.6. There we go, Gasly into the pit lane. So Norris is definitely trying to stay out there. But he's going 7-8 seconds a lap slower towards the end of the afternoon. This could really come down to the wire. But either way, I think we should have the pace against Leclerc. Well, Isaac Hadjar is clearly not having a fun day out of it here, but I'm just hoping he should be far enough ahead that Leclerc won't get some DRS from him. Let's open up the DRS, then tucked up in the slipstream of Charles Leclerc. Oh, he really just wanted to sit in the middle of the road as Isaac Hadjar luckily will spot us battling behind and jump out of the way. I still want to know what other position the team think we can get here. We're closing in on Aiden Jackson, but nowhere near quick enough. Like I said, unless it's Lando, because he's only about 15 seconds ahead now. Lewis Hamilton has got around Lando Norris and is setting sail towards the end of the GP. But I can see Norris, Jackson and Verstappen all battling just up in front there, 3 wide, as they head back down in towards turn 1. But surely they're going to be able to get Lando Norris on the final lap of this GP. The strategy play by McLaren has not worked out here, but I wish we did get a little bit more variety like that inside career mode. Hopefully F125, we're going to see a few more kind of risky plays by the AI teams even, I should say, and hopefully make things a little bit more interesting. But as we dive down the hill though, I don't know whether P4 is going to be the objective the team want us to get. Annoyingly, I think had Jackson just been a bit unluckier, we could have probably got the jump on him by the end of the afternoon, as Lando ran the outside through Capser. Won't quite find the grip there, but we will get past him on the run in towards the next corner. So up into P4. Looks like we're going to score some big points as a team. But again, Verstappen and Red Bull just constantly opening up that margin, whether it's by 10 or 7 points, or even just 3 or 6 today. Still not what we need at the moment, as Hamilton, he is going to win here in Barcelona, so very happy for him. We will come through for 4th.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Yes! Come on!
A very strong showing from Connor Sports here in rain-soaked Barcelona. Looks like Ferrari will drop a place in the Constructors now as Connor Sport move into 2nd place behind Red Bull.
Yeah, we're starting to see what they were capable of last season when they briefly topped the standings. Can they push for the top again? We'll see.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Well, there we are then after the Spanish Grand Prix. A bit of a bounce-back performance. Quite funny, Ferrari celebrating Lewis's win, whilst they also lose a spot to us in the championship. Despite the fact I think mathematically they did score more points this weekend. Hamilton with a win, Leclerc, unless he was in 9th, which I don't think he was towards the end. So that's quite funny. But anyway, Aiden Jackson approaches Devon Butler to see if he can get the siblings talking.
Hey,
Aiden, what can I do for you?
Listen, I just spoke to Callie.
At least someone is.
Yeah, no, it's just that she said that she wanted to talk to you.
Really?
She just bumped into her. She said that...
Jackson, mate, it's a noble effort, yeah? You can't play a butler.
I wasn't. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, did you honestly think this was going to work, this little plan of yours? Huh?
Antonelli said no.
Yeah, I think so. Jackson, next time, try and make it believable, yeah?
You know the last thing that Davidoff said to me? Keep an eye on those two. He knew. He knew that the team wouldn't work if Devon and Callie weren't getting along. Plus, you can't play Butler? I guess I took it personally.
Aiden's going to leave the team. Aiden's going to head somewhere else. Anyway, into Chapter 11 though, the British Grand Prix. Connorsport continued to hold on to second in the Constructors' Championship. There are many in the media that are still waiting for the team to capitulate in a similar fashion to their previous season. Now at their home race, both Aiden Jackson and Callie Mayer hope to silence their detractors. I thought Callie was Dutch in this game. Am I wrong? I thought she was Dutch for some reason. So, I mean, we've got to go with the home lad, haven't we? Aiden Jackson, I know, is obviously British inside the game, so hopefully we can get another big result.
Pens. I didn't know we did pens. Did you know we did pens? Should get one from my desk.
Nobody uses pens anymore, Dev.
Where is Andreo?
Just give him a minute.
Nope, I'm gonna head.
Oh, I'll tell him he has to take a call.
You stop. You know, this whole thing would be a lot easier if you were just a bit more understanding.
Easier for you.
What are you talking about? You have my support.
Support?
Yes, you know that.
Wow.
What?
You have never been more distracted than you are right now. There is always something more important to deal with.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got quite a lot on at the moment.
Okay, so where is the support you talk about, Dev? Because I haven't seen it.
Come on, Cal, you're fine.
How would you know?
I mean, Dad's death didn't affect you like it affected me, for a start.
So it's about Dad now.
Well, I mean, you weren't sad. You didn't grieve. For all I know, you were happy about it.
If you had asked me, then you wouldn't have to guess.
If you were upset, I would have asked you.
Do you even care?
Of course I care.
Evidently not.
Cal? You okay?
Fine.
Hey. Look. I didn't know you. You should have told me. Hey. I'm sorry.
Tell me about the business.
Ugh. You don't want to know.
I mean it. Why is it so difficult?
Business is in trouble, Cal. Like, serious trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Buying Connorsport nearly bankrupted Butler Global. It's on a knife edge. We can't go public.
What?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know. It's weird. It's like the company's only as rich as people think it is. And if any of this gets out, then the whole thing falls to pieces.
And you've been keeping this all a secret?
Andreo knows. He's been helping me with the board. They could just sell up, balance the books. We're not in a strong position.
So, Dad bought Connorsport and then left you to clean up the mess?
We are where we are. Classic Dad.
And the only way to prove Connorsport's value is to make a run for the title. Do we have to win?
Can't argue with first place. Oh. You can tell Andreo I had to take this.
Do what you gotta do.
Mikey! How are you, bud? Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm good. Uh-huh. Yeah. Sounds nice.
Well, these two really just seem to go from mortal enemies to best friends yet again, as the home crowd roaring him on. Aiden Jackson sets his sights upon catching up to his teammate ahead as they attempt to close the gap between Connosport and Red Bull. Let's do this.
Here comes Callie Mayer, all over the rear wing of Liam Lawson. Down the old main straight we go, towards Thompson. She's going for it, and she sends herself with Liam Lawson spinning out of the race.
Ah, dear, oh dear. I just wonder, could Lawson have done anything different there? Well, is it all on Mayer? It was a late move. Oh, I'd love to see that from a different angle.
It was aggressive from Mayer, whichever way you look at it, but there's the end result. Liam Lawson and Callie Mayer out here at Silverstone, and there's Aiden Jackson racing through.
Well, 2021 ain't got nothing on that one there. Both drivers out of the Grand Prix that time round, so clearly Lewis did a better job with it than Callie did. Bit crash prone so far inside this story mode. She's crashed a couple of times this season. But let's see then. So we're down to P8. Sorry, P9 even in this race. We've got to try and finish 4th or above. We've got 6 laps to do it though. Or 5 laps to do it really. So yeah, we're going to have to really try and go for a charge through the order. Norris, yeah, 5 seconds up the road. I think Verstappen is comfortably out in front. Or is that a Ferrari that's way out in front in this Grand Prix? I've got no idea. So we'll find out pretty quickly as throwing the car through turn 1 and turn 2 to the inside of Pierre Gasly, instantly starting to make an impact. Let's see if we can try and line up the same move that Callie attempted this time round though on poor Ollie Behrman. Running a very good P7 so far in this Grand Prix. No, in fact, we'll get the drive on him before we even get in towards the corner. So already, yeah, taking a lot of time out of these guys in front. We don't seem to have a secondary objective in this race, so I wonder if we're going to see a dramatic twist or something like that. But yeah, following the Mercedes and the McLaren, this thing feels very, very grippy through these corners. I wonder kind of what level the car performance is on inside kind of this storyline. Because, I mean, it does feel like a good car, but of course the AI aren't at a particularly great level either. As Antonelli following Lewis Hamilton in towards the final few corners. Of course, 9-time winner here at Silverstone. Could he make it a meteoric 10th in just a few weeks' time? Only time will tell. As we try and get the run out of the final turn then against Kimi Antonelli. See if we can go for it back into turn 1. Similar to what Lawson and obviously Mayer had just a few laps ago. That time round though, no defence could be made, as it looks like Charles Leclerc is actually pit in that Ferrari car, so that would explain why he had such an advantage at the front of the order. We can definitely try and go for the victory though here, I feel. Verstappen is still a little way up the road as Hamilton tries to defend from us, but we are flying along. We've got the speed, we've got the power, we've got everything we need underneath us right now, and especially the confidence tucking up to the back of Lando Norris. With a little over 3 laps to go, he will have the DRS on Leclerc. We will pull to the inside though and try and get past him. And we are now, I believe, the top Brit then in this Grand Prix. None of you Brits currently in the podium positions. How far up the road is Verstappen? It's got to be a good kind of 5 seconds or so. We might be able to get to Oscar Piastri, but it's Verstappen we need to start beating in this World Championship. Otherwise, he's just going to have such a big lead by the time we get to the end of the year. 29.9, new fastest lap of the race. Can we try and get a run on Leclerc though through turn 1 and turn 2? We'll try and make sure that we claim the DRS and go for the overtake, which we will manage both at the same time. Verstappen 5 seconds up the road in just under 3 laps. That's going to be a tall order. I don't know why Mark keeps updating me on the gap to Charles Leclerc here late on in the day, but another new fastest lap. We are flying along. We'll definitely have the pace to get to Verstappen by the end, as long as I don't do anything stupid. This time round then try and line up a move on Oscar Piastri. I think that time we might just have gone past him before the detection point, so we might not have any DRS assistance to bring us closer to Verstappen. Yes, we will. So there we go. That works out fantastically well for us. I don't care what the gap is to Leclerc anymore, Mark. Come on, we've got a lap to close in on Max. Can we try and get inside the DRS range? I think we have. Max Verstappen is going to be vulnerable heading into the final lap of the Grand Prix, and this is exactly what we need to be doing more of inside this game at the moment, trying to outscore the Dutchman, trying to make sure that we keep this World Championship fairly level. Whoa! The Dutchman there broke a little bit earlier than I was expecting. Very lucky not to pick up any wing damage or anything else in that moment, but one more lap to go then of the British Grand Prix. Apparently we're still getting told about Leclerc, which is getting rather frustrating. But can we try and get a run then on the Dutchman at that final corner, wheel to wheel, in towards turn 1, perhaps not quite there. So we'll nudge the brake again ever so slightly. Clearly the Dutchman just trying to bring the car home down the inside, in towards the loop though, and up into P1 we will go. Aiden Jackson into the top spots here of the race. Let's just try and hang on to it then around this final lap. Of course. I wonder if in about 3 corners Mark could just update me, because I'm really worried about Charles Leclerc's pace. He's won a couple of races this season and already looks rather strong. So I'm hoping he tells me at some point the gap is about 4 seconds.
And some information on Leclerc. The gap is 4 seconds.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mark. I was always hoping. Maybe you'll let me know once more before the end of this Grand Prix, just so I'm certain that Leclerc's not going to get past me down in towards the final few corners. But making our way then around this Silverstone circuit one final time. After the incident for our teammate, we've been able to capitalise on it today. It's a bit like seeing Bottas win the Grand Prix in 2021. Can't even remember what happened to Bottas during the British Grand Prix that year. I think he might have come home for like P3 or P4 come the end of the race. But through the final corner, P1 here at Silverstone. Thank you very much.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done. Get in there, lads. Come on. That's what we needed.
Not a bad day then at the office for Aiden Jackson, but let's not forget, his teammate Callie Mayer took herself and Liam Lawson out of the race.
Yeah, and I've had another look at that incident, Crofty, and I do believe that Mayer was at fault. She's a little bit aggressive, and it's really cost her.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. And what a treat it is to see Connor Sport taking the top spot. That's a well-earned victory.
Aiden, suffice to say it was pretty dramatic out there today. What about your race, though?
I think we did pretty well. Not about what I want, but dealing with things like this is part of Formula 1. Difficult reason for the whole result for the whole team? Well, we won. So I think we'll say not about what I want, but dealing with things like this is part of Formula 1.
It's not about what I want, is it? I mean, look, I want Connor Sport to be bringing in maximum points every race, but that's not the reality of this sport. F1 is unpredictable. People spin out, cars break down, and that's what makes it interesting. You know, dealing with those kinds of incidents, that's what makes this sport exciting.
And by incident, you're of course referring to Callie's move on Lawson. So what did you make of that?
Yeah, you know what? We'll try and hide from that one. We haven't seen the footage yet.
Honestly, I haven't seen the footage yet, so I'll defer to the judgment of those who have. But look, Callie's a great driver. So if it turns out it was a mistake, then we all make mistakes from time to time. It's just one of those things.
Well, with Connor Sport still in the hunt, what do you think your chances are moving forward?
I've got the belief that we're heading still in the right direction.
I think they're good, honestly. We're right up there, and, you know, today wasn't perfect, but we can still close the gap to Red Bull. I believe in this car, and I believe in the team. I believe in myself. And we've shown that we can challenge the top teams. But we've also shown that we know how to learn and improve and get the most out of this car. So there's everything still to play for.
That's great. Thank you.
Well, all very, very interesting then in the post-race. The team had a difficult race with Callie Mayer's retirement. Aiden Jackson managed a strong finish. We took the win. At least you could tell us that. But let's see what we've got coming up next then.
Go away. Oh, I know. Just spare me the lecture, okay?
What? I have one ready to go. I mean, it's all there for you.
I don't get it, Dev. I really don't. We're working our tails off to try and bail Dad out, and he's not even here. I really thought he knew what he was doing. Why would he risk so much?
Well, I guess he just really wanted to own Connorsport. Another toy to show off to his mates at the yacht club.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just came here to tell you you're an idiot.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and you know, you have to do much better next time, and this season must be a success. Throw in some veiled threats about contract renewal, that kind of thing.
Ah, right, yeah. Well, consider me thoroughly motivated.
Good. Then my work here is done. Oh. Yeah. You know that was the wrong call out there today, Cal.
Yeah, I know.
But I liked it. You took a shot. I can relate to that.
Thanks, Dev.
Runs in the family.
Oh, these two really just have become friends again, don't they? They like to chop and change their feelings towards each other. The Talent Scout team have completed their research and believe they found a younger and considerably cheaper alternative to our current driver in Julius Halings. However, word got back to Noah Bell's representatives, and fully enough, they appeared to have softened their stance. They made it clear they're willing to sign a contract with terms very similar to the previous one. We just need to decide now who we want for the 26th season. We'll go with Julius. You know what? Noah upset me. We don't need the rookies anyway. So I'm sure that hopefully it's not going to make too much of a difference in the campaign. Let's head then into Chapter 12. 2 months later, consistency over the past few months has helped Connorsport start to slowly close the gap on their first place rivals Red Bull. Before the Italian Grand Prix, Devon Butler makes an important discovery he is keen to share with his sister.
Well, the team will be a success. And you propose what exactly? A sale? How's that going to look, Mike? We've only just acquired the team.
But the projections...
Projections be damned! Read my lips. We are not selling Connorsport. As long as I'm still breathing, I will see California make a name for herself on this team. We will continue to support this team, and this team will continue to support Cali.
But damn it,
I have another meeting to attend. Good day, gentlemen.
You wanted to know why he risked so much. Guess now we know. You okay?
Yeah.
You know, when Dad left me the business, I didn't ask for it. I mean, I didn't want it. I don't know. I felt ungrateful for feeling that way.
But it means he cared.
Yeah. In his way.
In his way. I'm gonna watch it one more time.
Yeah, sure.
The team will be a success. And you propose...
It just all keeps getting mixed up, doesn't it? The reports of the financial trouble at Butler Global are starting to be reported in the media. The Connorsport team are hoping for another standout performance from their drivers to show the world that they're serious about contending for the championship. Let's see what we've got going down then. Andrea's got to make even more calls at the top of the table. The shareholders want to maximise as much short-term profit as possible, and they are mandating cutting all further development on the 2025 car and focusing on the 2026 regulations instead. No, we need to focus on 2025. We've got a once-in-a-lifetime chance to learn from BMW in 2008. When you've got a chance to win, you take it in Formula 1, because you never know what might happen otherwise. Noah was quite disappointed when we found out that he was going to be heading in a different direction. He made a passing comment about us not rewarding loyalty, but I think he was just letting off some steam. I don't really care, to be completely honest. But let's head then here to Monza, where hopefully we can try and get another big win under our belts. We've got more decisions to make, though, before we head out onto the circuit. I think if we get the chance, we might race as Cali this time. Let's double down. We expected a win, but we have faith in the car, and more importantly, our drivers. Yeah, you know what? We're going to try and win this one. So yeah, we got faith in the family, we got faith in the team. let's head here to Monza. An extraordinary performance in qualifying set Aiden Jackson up well for the race in Monza, leading from the start. Now he finds himself under pressure from current world champion Max Verstappen.
Verstappen's closing in on Jackson, looking to overtake, switches to the right, has to switch to the left, Jackson moves again, but that's got to be an issue with the stewards.
They'll definitely be looking into that one, because he's moved twice there under the braking zone. It was certainly enough to block Verstappen.
And it has been noted by race control, so let's see what the stewards say.
Oh, he's starting to pull out some nasty tactics here towards the end of the Grand Prix.
I'm afraid you've been given a drive-through penalty. Copy? What?
Deary me.
Oh, come on.
That seems a bit extreme.
Moving under braking, mate. We've got 3 laps to serve the penalty, so box within 3 laps, please. But I gave him space.
Well, that is very disappointing. So we're going to have to dive into the pit lane at the end of this lap. We've got to try and make sure then after that somehow that we still win the Grand Prix. So I'm going to deal with the penalty as soon as I can. But on this lap then we're just going to try and build up a bit of a gap ahead of Verstappen. Currently got about a second over him again, but that is going to be a tall order in the dying stages of this race to try and get the gap back up to what we need against the Dutchman.
Overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on.
Yeah, we're using the overtake as... Oh, I was going to say, I thought there was a Haas running up in P4. There's a big gap back to Cali in 4th place at the moment, so it really does look like Lando Norris might be Verstappen's only true threat here. But apparently we've still got to try and come back through and win this. We've got an almost 3-second gap now over the Dutchman, so we definitely have got a bit of pace in our back pocket. I guess it kind of depends on whether we come back out ahead of Cali or not in this Grand Prix. But into the pit lane then. Let's make sure we get the car slowed down nice and tidy on the entry. Don't pick up yet another penalty in this race. But there goes Verstappen. Norris is actually going to dive into the pit lane then, so I'm not too sure what's going on with him. But I don't think we're going to come out ahead of our teammate here. We're going to have a lot of work to do in the dying stages of this race. As Andrea, Kimi, Antonelli, new fastest lap. How far down the order are we going to be? We're going to be down in P8 here, so yeah, that's been a real disaster. Like I said, I don't believe Verstappen's got a pit. I'm surprised Lando did, though. But now we're tucked up behind the second Red Bull of Liam Lawson. Right, come on then, Liam. Let's immediately try and get the jump on the second Red Bull man. Of course, if this was IRL, they'd be telling him to defend like crazy against us. But basically, we need 2.5 seconds a lap then between now and the end of the race. The gap was just over 15 at the start of this lap. Again, the DRS will be very useful, though. We've already taken over 1.5 seconds out of him. It's going to be incredibly close, but we might just get him by the end, as there's more battles going on in front. That's going to be the other defining factor here. How much are those kind of cars battling? Are they going to cost us time? If so, how much time between now and the end of the race? We've got both Ferraris, both Mercedes, and our teammate there all in that battle. There's 3 seconds taken out of the Dutchman, so we definitely can do this. It's going to be possible by the end of the GP there. Check it down in towards Turn 1. Let's just see there, I mean, Hamilton and Leclerc battling for that final podium place in front of the Tifosi, but getting the drive past Kimi Antonelli. Hopefully we can try and get past Russell and Leclerc as well. Well, without costing ourselves much time, Russell wanted to give me a big old squeeze. Get down the inside of him, though, and Charles Leclerc into the next chicane. So up then into 4th. Lewis Hamilton again, then shouldn't be much of a match for us late on in the day. And again, just using that battery up in 8th gear there really does give you a lot of speed. 220 miles an hour. This Connosport car can really fly around this venue. Just try and keep it between track limits. Get a little bit of a wobble out over the curbing there, but we've got to make sure we get in the range of Calimere. We need that DRS back in towards Turn 1. I think we are just about going to do it. Keep that car within 1 second of our teammate here, and the gaps of Verstappen under 10 seconds again. So once we've navigated Cali, which will hopefully be around about now, we can just try and go in pursuit of Verstappen at the front.
Fastest lap of the race.
Again, approaching 220 miles an hour, just over 220. And a big dive coming in at Turn 1 there, similar to Ricciardo all those years ago. But we are back into P2 as we get a warning for a collision. I certainly didn't feel any contact there. Well, about to start then the final lap of the Grand Prix. This has definitely been one of the tougher challenges the game has set us so far. We should still do it sensibly unless I make a big error now. But definitely, you know, as you get towards the end of the storyline, it is becoming a bit more of a challenge. Just use a bit of battery on the run back down in towards turn 1, but clearly they've taken inspiration from Mark Webber's first win back at the it was Nürburgring, wasn't it? Back in 2009, obviously for the German Grand Prix. Took a drive-through penalty that weekend after barging Rubens Barrichello with his Brawn at the start of the race, but nothing could stop Mark that weekend. And of course, yeah, that brilliant team radio as well at the end of the GP. But at the venue where Verstappen took a record-breaking 10th straight win in a row back in 2023, he is not going to have the same fate here today. Oh, it breaks a little bit early through the second Lesmo, which thought he was going to get the drive on him. And you think if this was Verstappen IRL, he would absolutely throw a dangerous block at me or something like that. But around the outside we'll go, up into the lead late on here at the Temple of Speed. It has been critical that we get back in front there in the final race of the European leg of the campaign. We have just got to try and keep this championship hope alive as we head into the final few races. In towards the final corner though, despite the drive-through, we're going to end up with pretty much a bigger lead than when we were given the car at the start of this challenge. At the final turn, P1 here at Monza, the title dream lives on.
Woo! Yeah! Come on! And give me your thoughts on Jackson's drive-through penalty this afternoon.
Well, I've had a look, Crofty, and for me, it's pretty clear-cut. I mean, he's defended late and then moves back to his line, all under the braking zone, and it's not like he doesn't know what the rules are.
That's a very good point. Question I've got, does he make that move against anyone other than Verstappen? After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst that Connosport team. And they certainly deserve it.
Well, Aidan, tough day. You've received a penalty for moving under braking against Verstappen. What's your take on it?
It was a bit of a difficult one, wasn't it? I can't say Max was to blame. That would have been quite funny. So I think we're going to have to just say we disagree with the steward's decision.
I don't agree with the decision at all. I felt like I gave him space, you know? Like, I wasn't swerving all over the track. I just defended my position and, you know, that's what racing's about. I think they were too quick to pull the trigger on this one, to be honest.
Did you feel you had to defend more aggressively today because it was a Red Bull behind you?
Oh, I think, yeah, when the championship leader's out there, you've got to try and fight him harder, haven't you?
Maybe a bit, yeah. Look, anytime Max gets past, it's potentially a big point swing between Red Bull and Connosport, but, you know, those are points we desperately need. And especially moving into the latter stages of this season, you know, a lot of drivers like to say it doesn't matter who you're up against, but honestly, sometimes it does.
The season's not over yet, but how would you assess your performance so far this season?
I think we need to step it up. Flyaway season about to begin, we've got to keep winning.
Honestly, I'm not where I want to be. I think I've had too many mistakes and missed too many opportunities. So, yeah, to be honest, I've let myself down and I've let the team down at times, and I think I just need to step it up. Look, I'm not here to just bring in a few points. I want to be consistently winning races and challenging the very best in this sport. And to do that, I need to take responsibility for the results that haven't been good enough.
Well, thank you for chatting with us. Great to have your time.
Fighting words there from Aiden Jackson, but post-race here from Italy with a penalty while defending against Verstappen. Aiden Jackson still manages to finish the Italian Grand Prix in a solid position. Again, we won. Devin Butler looks to inspire the team to maintain their run of form.
So no, Aiden, we won't be appealing. The stewards were right. You know that.
I gave him space.
Okay, nothing more today, thank you.
Can't let this slip away, people. Red Bull are pulling ahead, Ferrari won't let up. Discipline, focus, we can still do this.
Did you talk to them?
Yeah, they're not going to invest.
Run the numbers by me. I can help it make sense to them.
Thanks, Andrew.
For the good of the team.
He's good, isn't he?
What?
I said Andrea's good. He actually likes the business side of things.
Yeah, he's great with the board.
And you're really not.
Yeah, thanks for that.
But you're good in the garage. And in the paddock. You have good instincts. People listen to you. You know how to win.
You said my ideas were mad.
Only when you're panicking.
Okay, where are you going with this?
Stop spending your life pandering to the suits.
Well, I mean, that's what I do now, yeah? I pander to the suits.
Just because Dad says so. You don't have to do this, Dad. You can change it.
Look, I appreciate the effort, but I somehow don't think it's that simple, okay?
You used to be a maverick, Dev. What happened?
Oh, more shots getting fired later on this season. But as we head to Mexico for Chapter 13, Devon Butler continually splitting his time between deputies at Butler Global and Connosport. He looks for a way to be able to focus on what really matters to him. As the grid heads to Mexico City, he may have just found the answer. I reckon he's going full-time at Butler Global and binning off the team.
The gap to first place is not insurmountable. Remember, we don't beat Red Bull by copying them. Okay, just a heads up before we get into it.
Shouldn't we wait for Andrea?
Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you.
We kept doing each other's jobs. It was ridiculous.
So Devon put you on the board of Butler Global?
It didn't happen overnight.
So Andrea would take care of things at Butler Global, deal with the board, keep me in the loop, and I would steer the ship at Connosport. It's one of the best ideas I ever had.
Why was that necessary?
Well, if we were gonna compete with Red Bull, we had to take some risks. We needed a maverick.
You?
Me. Long story short, I'm principal now.
What? Wait, you knew about this?
Doesn't matter, Jackson. Listen, the most important thing, and I cannot stress this enough, trust me, and we will bring home the trophy.
Well, Aiden doesn't seem to be very happy then about that decision. And I'll be honest, I think Andrea was probably better at being team principal either. We have started to get an increase in social media requests coming through. Now the title race with Red Bull is heating up. The Connosport story has captured the imagination of the sports world, and as such, the drivers are in high demand. A popular late-night TV show has asked for both drivers to appear on their broadcast. The PR team think it would be a great opportunity for the public to see Aiden and Callie's personalities on full display. However, from the stresses of the race weekend and the pre-existing media obligations that evening, so we can't send both drivers. Also, the show tapes during the day we're due to fly into Las Vegas, so they will be getting late in. How do you want to tackle this one? I think we'll get Callie on there. Probably a good storyline, isn't it? You know, female Formula 1 driver fighting for the World Championship. Let's head into Mexico, though. We've got more decisions to make, though, apparently. I never quite know exactly what is going to be going on. You know what? I'm not even going to read that. I'm just going to say we're going to antagonise the reporter, because that would be the Devon Butler way. I think that's a good call. I think it was something about a reporter I think was trying to stir something up. But topsy-turvy and highly competitive Mexican Grand Prix has put Connosport in a position for Aiden Jackson to make a late push. To be able to pull his off, though, he looks to the help from his teammate Callie Mayer further ahead.
Okay, Callie, I need you to play the team game here. Aiden's just made his stop, and I want you to try and hold up those behind you so we can close the gap up for him, all right?
Copy, can do.
Here we go then. We might have one of those races where we've got to be both drivers then for a change. So we've got to just try and hold on to the lead, or to 5th place here in Mexico. I assume we don't actually need to try and like hold these guys up or anything.
8.2 seconds.
I'm just going to do what I normally do, try and drive fast. Oh, so we actually know we have got to try and hold this up until Aiden catches up then. So we then got to try and win the Grand Prix. So I guess the best thing to do is just basically cause an almighty roadblock against these guys. And then hope that Aiden can get past us. And then obviously then it gives us more time to obviously try and do this. I don't know whether we can actually afford to let them by temporarily or not. As Lawson will barge his way through there. And so will... Oh no, we failed! Okay, so yeah, I've got to try and hang on to P5 then at all costs. That's going to be quite difficult to try and do through those corners. So we can afford to really park it through the middle sector. We just then can't afford to park it, obviously, by the time we get out of the final corner. So we might have to bring out some dangerous blocks. You know, Aiden did it a few races ago. We only got a drive-through penalty out in Italy. So let's just see what we can try and do them in towards the final few laps of this Grand Prix. We don't actually get much time to obviously try and defend from these guys. But Lawson then, we will absolutely try and park the bus against him and just focus on the mirrors. Maybe this isn't the way we need to do this though. So we'll try and force him wide through those corners. You can see there immediately Jackson will take big chunks of time out of us. Problem is, of course, I can't even let him by to claim the DRS for ourselves. We've just then got to try and go for it out of the final corner. So this is a really, really difficult little challenge then late on in the game. As we should now be able to defend from Lawson back in towards turn 1. He has got the DRS though. So we're going to have to try and cover off that inside line. Move back to the racing line in towards the apex there. And again, just try and sit through turn 1 and turn 2.
Here in Mexico, we're being treated to some brilliant defending from Callie Mayer. And she's building quite the line of traffic behind her.
Some great team driving going on here from a Connor Sport perspective, because Mayer's definitely backing this pack up, and her teammate Jackson is now catching.
And he's got the fresher tyres on, so let's see if he can make quick work of them.
Okay, mate, Callie's done her bit, set them all up for you. Now it's over to you. Get to work.
Well, clearly they've taken more inspiration from Red Bull in Abu Dhabi in 2021. But we've still got quite a few laps to go then of this GP. But running down in P9 here. First of all, we've got to try and find a way around Ocon. You can see Leclerc and Lawson, they're all waiting line astern. So what is the gap to P3? There's only an 8-second lead. An 8-second gap, sorry, to our leader here, so all very, very bunched up. So we'll immediately get past Esteban Ocon then and chop across his nose on the run back down towards turn 1. I believe it might actually be Lando Norris leading this race, and as there goes Callie, maybe losing the place to Liam Lawson. Leclerc watching on, so I will again try to capitalise there as banging wheels ever so slightly with the monogas man, but surely we can get the power down against these two. Past Liam Lawson, past Callie. May I wave goodbye to her as we make our way by and say thank you very much on the radio. It is Oscar Piastri actually leading this race, but Carlos Sainz as well wanted to try and claim the win like he did in Hamilton even, won't it? Of course, we'll want to try and claim the victory, you know, the second year in a row for Ferrari around this venue, but get a big slide through those corners. Of course, the big goal is just making sure we outscore Verstappen by as many points as we possibly can, but Lando Norris then, he's going to be the one we have to try and tick off our hit list first and foremost. So often finds himself staring at the back of Max Verstappen in Formula 1, but 2025 so far has usually been a little bit different there. We'll just hold behind him for now. Make sure we claim the DRS out of the final corner, which we should do. Get the power down there, and there we go, past Lando Norris, new fastest lap of the day as well. So surely we're going to be able to get past Verstappen as well on the run back down towards turn 1. Of course, a slightly extended DRS zone for 2025. We won't get the run on Max there, but we should get past him in towards turn 4. Let's just see what we can do. Throwing the car over the curves through 1 and 2. Still desperately wishing we got an update to the Mexico circuit for the near future, especially now it's been reconfirmed. But through then and up into the all-important 3rd place. Try and employ the same trick then with Oscar Piastri and Lewis Hamilton here. Sit behind the McLaren, claim the DRS, and use that to try and bring ourselves closer to the Ferrari man. As we've got 5 laps to go then of this GP. To the inside of Oscar Piastri we will go. And just like his teammate then, able to get the run out of that final turn. And as long as we're within about 8/10 of Lewis by the time we get to turn 1, we should be able to get him on the run back up towards turn 4. The last couple of challenges have been quite difficult. But this one again seems to just be a little bit easier. Maybe I accidentally gave myself too much time by trying to back the pack up ridiculously. But I guess it worked quite well for us. As we get the power down, we are going to be up into P1. Around the outside of Hamilton will go. And let's just try and get this to the flag. While making our way then in towards the final few corners of the Mexican City Grand Prix. This has been a critical win late on in the season for our World Championship hopes. And it is going to help us turn the tide against Verstappen. P4 for the Dutchman around a circuit he has loved oh so much in recent years. That is what we are talking about. Thank you very much.
Yes, go! Let's go! Yes! That's it, lads! You beauties!
There are selfish drives and there are selfless drives. And that's a truly selfless drive from Callie Mayer today. It put Aiden Jackson in an excellent position for that strong finish.
It really did. The team benefits from it wholly. And it's never a nice position to be in as the driver, being asked to do that, but hats off to them.
And it's a result that brings Jackson and Mayer even closer together in the driver's standings, whilst in the constructors, Conesport are really starting to make a push now as the end of the season gets ever closer. Well, Conesport are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
We are then post-race here from Mexico. A truly altruistic performance there. Callie Mayer helps her teammate Aiden Jackson make a stunning comeback in Mexico and gives Devon Butler a race to remember as his first role as team principal. Let's see, where are we heading next then? We haven't got much time left of this season. We're into Vegas then, so 3 races to go of the campaign. With only a few races left in the season, every point matters. With the team riding high off their recent successes, Callie Mayer looks to shine under the lights in Vegas, setting her sights squarely on the Red Bull duo of Verstappen and Lawson. So awkward that this was clearly set up. First of all for Perez, they then updated it to have Lawson in, and now of course it's Tsunoda in that second Red Bull seat.
How are we looking?
Yeah, we're looking strong, Callie. We can start to push now, so I want you to put some pressure on the Red Bulls, okay?
This, of course, yeah, is certainly not Mexico, as Lawson and Verstappen, those are the 2 cars that we've got to try and beat here. I don't even know how the Drivers' Championship table is looking against those 2 at the moment, but let's just see what we can do then. Lawson, 6.6 up the road. Verstappen, got to be a little bit further than that. 28 seconds for Verstappen. I hope he's got a pit.
7 seconds.
I really hope Verstappen's got a pit before the end of this, as Norris is going to come out just in front of us. So he will probably be the first one on our hit list there as well. We've already taken a second out of Max. So maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's just built up a huge lead inside 8 laps. Well, I think we are having to chase down Verstappen then towards the end of this race, because the gap already down to 24 seconds.
Car ahead now, running medium tyres.
We should have the DRS off of Lando Norris, just waiting in the wings until we get it. And of course, always a good chance as well, just to save a little bit of battery. It's tucked up then in the wheel tracks we are. Again, move that brake bias down slightly. Norris is going to try and defend from me. And later on the brakes around the outside is what on earth is going on here? Got our teammate, I believe that's Alonso, and Leclerc all having a battle. No, it's Lance Stroll getting in the way. There's a surprise, isn't there? Oh, so Verstappen has pit. Okay, so that's going to make our life a whole lot easier then. What to the inside I thought of on Leclerc. We'll actually go around the outside of him, a little bit of contact down in turn 1. But he completely scared me. Well, we helped Jackson, of course, last weekend out in Mexico, so I'm hoping he's going to do the same here. Trying just to find a way around our teammates sooner rather than later. I was going to wait for the back straight, but I don't think we've really got the time to right now. I didn't even realise that we had a second objective here of trying to get ahead of him before lap 10, but to try and continue closing in on Liam Lawson, get the car tucked in on that apex. Gap to Verstappen now under 4 seconds with 4 laps to go. Surely we're going to get him by the end, as unfortunately, yeah, not quite in the range of Lawson by the time we get to the DRS detection point. Yes, we are actually, sorry. I completely forgot which icon is the detection point and which one is actually the DRS zone. Well, that's going to give us a little bit of free time as well against the Kiwi. Down into the corner. Not quite able to get the car slowed down quite where we needed it. But Lawson again, though, he's going to have to try and put on a defensive drive if he wants to help out his teammate Max Verstappen here. Up over the start-finish line yet again. Red Bull 1-2, but yeah, myself and Jackson waiting in the wings, trying to close in on the pair of them. It does feel quite weird kind of how much Aiden has taken a bit of a backseat in this storyline now. He was kind of like the big front runner for so long. Kind of your main man in this story mode, but yeah, really kind of throughout 2 and then especially into 3 really has become a bit more like a B-tier character inside this. Let's just try and get in the range of Verstappen though and make that move with a couple of laps to spare. Or 2 races to go after this one, I believe, this season, and making the move on Verstappen then with 3 laps to go here in Vegas. A critical move for the World Championship there, and the Dutchman, no matter what he does right now, he just cannot find a way to win races late on. Fantastic news for us, though, as we now have got clear track, apart from 1 Haas car that needs to get lapped. Oh, Ocon. There we go. It is Esteban Ocon. He does a slightly better job than Lance Stroll getting out of the way. But now it should be plain sailing. But as we make our way then out onto the strip one final time here in Vegas, it looks like Aiden as well has been able to find a way around Liam Lawson here. So could we end up in a scenario where we have got to choose between our 2 drivers about which one we want to see win the Formula 1 World Championship? Only time will tell, because we are still taking points out of Verstappen in these final few races there. Down towards the end of the strip one final time. We have absolutely controlled this one in the later stages there. Once Verstappen pit, I knew we were going to be able to get the gap on him before the checkered flag. Through the final corners, though, victory in Vegas here for Connosport. Another win on the board.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Woo! Yes!
Well, Connosport will be overjoyed with that. They've outscored Red Bull today, which at this point in the season is crucial.
Yeah, I must confess, Crofty, I didn't think Connosport could continue to compete at this level, but they're really giving Red Bull a run for their money.
With just a couple of races left to come this season, things really couldn't be much closer. And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. So congratulations then to Connosport, your race winners today.
Callie, a huge result today. You gained ground on both Red Bull drivers. So how does it feel to have taken such a crucial step in the title race?
I think at this point of the season, it's all we could really ask for, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels amazing. Red Bull are the benchmark in this sport. Everyone knows that. So to come out on top today, especially at this stage of the season, is a massive achievement. We've worked really hard to get here, and this result keeps us in contention, which is all we could ask for. It's
been a turbulent 12 months for Connor Sport. Casper Ackerman and Andre O'Connor both putting in stints as team principal. Now it's your brother, Devon Butler. How much is he bringing to the championship at this late stage?
You know what, we'll try and stay friendly, I think, with this response. After everything we've been through, it's great to be able to work together.
Yeah, we've been working through some tough times together over the years, but we've worked through it now. And I can honestly say it's been really great to have him in charge these last few races. It feels really good to finally work together towards a goal that we can both passionately believe in.
And you and Aidan so close in the standings. So come on, has it put any strain on your relationship? Has it changed the atmosphere at Connor Sport in any way?
No, I don't think so yet, but that all could change in these final few races.
Not at all. On the one hand, there's working together as teammates, and on the other, there's the competition on the track. And thankfully, we've been able to keep those two things separate. I know some drivers can struggle with that, but for us, it really hasn't been an issue. And I actually think that's been really healthy for the whole team.
Okay, but one last question. It's the big one. Can Connor Sport win the title?
Let's be confident. Of course we can.
Absolutely we can.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, getting some good interview answers in there, but the post-race here from Las Vegas, we're better to put on a show. Callie Mail wows the crowd in Las Vegas to finish ahead of both Red Bull drivers, whilst the team continues to contend the swirling rumours regarding Butler Global. Their performance on track has put them within striking distance of Red Bull in the standings. Where are we going to be heading to next? I would assume it's got to be Qatar, hasn't it? Because we're not ready to make it... Oh no, we're in Abu Dhabi. Okay then, Chapter 15. It all comes down to this, the final race of the season, with Connor Sport still in contention for both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. A familiar face returns to the Connor Sport garage. Boy oh boy, I hope it's Lucas Faber. It won't be Lucas Faber, but I hope it is. It's actually going to be Casper Ackerman. But I thought there were 16 chapters in this game, not 15, so I must have got that wrong.
Is it true Callie and Aidan bought your ticket to Abu Dhabi?
Yeah. Yeah, they really wanted me to be there. I mean, how could I refuse?
Jasper! Heard you were around.
Sorry. I know I'm not supposed to be here.
Hey, can I run something by you? Here, get over here. Take a look at these numbers. Team order.
Team order?
Yeah.
Okay, what am I looking at?
Bit of a gamble.
Well, you're not going to beat Red Bull by copying them.
Thank you, Casper.
Yeah. Could work.
Listen, Casper,
You don't have to apologize.
I wasn't thinking straight, you know?
I know.
I was under a lot of pressure. Business, Butler Global, Dad, Callie, I didn't know what to do. It felt like I was getting everything wrong. Yeah.
It hasn't been easy for you. It's okay.
Can't do this now. Got a championship to win.
That you do?
Right. Team meeting, 6 minutes. I want you there.
No.
Yeah. Be good for the drivers. 6 minutes, team order.
Well, final decision-making time then. But Callie had a really good time on that late night cash show. The hosts are in a good rapport, and it was a great showcase of her personality away from the paddock. There was even a viral clip circulating for sometimes afterwards of Callie sharing her favourite story of when the pair of you were karting together. The PR team are really happy how it went. The scheduling difficulties did mean she was a bit rushed heading into the weekend. Her performance in practice wasn't quite up to her usual standards, but she made up for it during the race. That's all good news then. Finally, it looks like we made a correct decision right towards the end of the campaign. But let's head then, the final race of the season.
So, newest team on the grid is pushing for the title. No one saw that coming a couple of seasons ago. When Connor Sport was a midfield team, Aiden Jackson was just full of potential. Remember that, mate?
Yeah.
No potential anymore. You're in contention for the drivers. And I really can't believe I'm saying this. So is my little sis. Proud of you, sis. And I know somewhere in the big corporation in the sky, so is Dad. Yeah, he always was, you know. Even though the only way he could express it was by secretly bankrupting his own company. But hey, nobody's perfect, right? Casper, final words?
Just remember everything I taught you.
What was that exactly?
Kind of hoping you could tell me.
Hey, Cass.
Yeah.
Who do you think's taking home the drivers?
Oh, well, my money is on Verstappen.
Oi!
Andrea.
It's been an honor. Whatever happens, thank you all for making Connosport such a force.
Right, we've got a job to do, people. Finish the race quicker than Red Bull. Simple, right? Just get the fastest time. It's a funny thing, time. Every moment of every race, you're either losing it or you're gaining it. And every driver on the track, every team on the pit wall's doing the same. They're all looking for time, looking for milliseconds. Truth is, those milliseconds are everywhere. They're in every brake, every turn, every pit, every shift. We win this race today, 1 millisecond at a time. We gain one, then we gain another, and we don't stop. We keep pushing. We look for the smallest possible moments, and we claim every second available to us out there, because when you add them all up, those milliseconds, those moments, those are the difference between the team that had a really good season and the team that made history. So we're gonna do this or what?
Yeah.
Yeah!
You mentored Aiden and Callie.
Mm-hmm.
Who deserved the title more?
Well, they're both incredible drivers. You know, on one hand, you have Aiden. I know we didn't get off on the right foot the first time we met, but he actually ended up becoming the best friend I ever made in this sport. And then there's Callie. She was on the way up when I left F1 the first time. She was just pure potential. Now, I knew from the very first time I saw her drive that she was going to be a big deal. And I just remember thinking before that final race that for one of them to win, the other one would have to lose. I guess that's sports. But to get back to your question, who deserved it most? You'll have to ask someone else.
Well, have we got a big decision to make just in front of us then? Are we going to have to pick a driver? Yes, we are. Honestly, for me, he's been here since day one. I'm going to rock Aiden Jackson for this one. I want to try and bring home the title. This is quite important, so let's see what we can do. If only, you know, he just did swear a little bit too much in Mexico for my liking, but let's do this thing. So, mid-race here, with the race not quite going to plan, Aiden Jackson must dig deep in order to keep his dreams of becoming world champion alive. Are we going to have to try and wait for some safety car mishaps? Only time will tell.
Here in Abu Dhabi, it's Max Verstappen out in front, with Charles Leclerc in second, followed by Liam Lawson and Callie Mayer just behind, looking to break into the top three.
Well, as things currently stand, Red Bull comfortably top the standings. Verstappen crowned world champion, but we're a long way from the end.
Well, we are that, but Connosport not doing enough to claim that top spot. Mayer's doing well. Jackson, though, has a lot of places to make up if he wants to contribute.
Okay, we need to start moving up now, Aiden.
Where's Callie?
Right, she's currently in fourth. Let's close the gap between you both. Let's go.
Right, come on then. Let's see what we can do. We've got 8 laps remaining then of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Things have really not gone well so far. P8 would not be enough to win the world title. But I assume, yeah, once we get past Callie, it's then going to be do or die between us and Verstappen. So we've got to try and get to Callie before lap 12, like we said. But if we can get to her before then, hopefully, that'll buy us a little bit more time to go up against Max. Well, Hajar really getting in the way of fellow rookie Kimi Antonelli. Also a long old season for these rookies, 24 races. They're trying to get used to Formula 1, but down the inside of the Italian. Where have we ever seen a move like that before against a Mercedes in this sport? See, that time round it crowned a champion. Hopefully this time round it'll do the same. Lewis Hamilton just a couple of seconds up the road now as well. So we've got to try and make sure we're in the range of him. Ready for the second of these back straights there. Late on the brakes. Try to use that sausage curve on the inside there. Get the power down on the exit. You see Hamilton as well, really struggling for traction. But we find the grip off the corner. We get decent hook up. And we will close in on him then. In towards the next hairpin here. Can we have a look for a move down the inside again? Very late, very brave, but we get it slowed down. And up then into P6. Callie now just a couple of cars ahead of us, but we've got Lando Norris still to navigate between us. Like I said, I thought this was 16 chapters. I assume obviously we'll get some stuff going on after this final race here in Abu Dhabi, but yeah, clearly I must have miscounted somewhere down the line. But yeah, hopefully Lando now is going to be on the back foot through these final couple of corners. Hopefully we're going to claim fastest lap as well in the process, which we will. That's a message to Verstappen. We are coming for him. As around the outside of Lando, we will go through turn 1. Come on, 5 seconds up to Callie up the road.
There's nothing to separate the top 3. This is a cracking end to this race, and it could still be anybody's. As Leclerc into turn 1, goes down the inside and hits Verstappen. Liam Lawson runs wide. Callie Mayer is up into first.
I was all a little bit too late, all a bit too overly aggressive from Leclerc there, and it's clearly backfired. It looks like that's the end of his race.
And what it means is this woman, Callie Mayer, could be crowned world champion. But I get the sense that this race isn't over yet.
What happened? Yeah, Callie's now in P1. Repeat, Callie is in first place. Copy. Lawson and Verstappen are our priority now. Worry about Callie later. Leave it to me.
Well, there we go, big drama here. Max Verstappen maybe about to lose his world championship thanks to an opportunistic move from Charles Leclerc. I mean, when you've got everything on the line and your rival's got nothing to lose, you've always got to expect them to maybe be a little bit crazy. But 5 laps to go then of this Grand Prix. We've got to try and find a way around Verstappen and Lawson first and foremost to the inside of the Dutchman. And for the second time on this lap, someone will try and get past him there through the inside line. Liam Lawson, though, he's not going to be able to put up much defence, and I'm sure we'll be told to let Max back by if he ends up getting right up behind him once again. But we can navigate these Red Bulls rather quickly. We will hopefully be able to get to Callie in not too far from now either, through the final couple of corners. Well, a little bit wide there, just in the dirty air again, struggling with it. But we should be able to get the run around the outside of Lawson, where Leclerc came off last lap. We're going to get around the outside of the other Red Bull car. Now let's try and chase down our teammate. We have rocked up to the back then of our teammate here, and are we going to have to try and make a decisive move? Is it going to be a first World Championship for Aiden Jackson? Is it going to be the first World Championship for a female Formula 1 driver ever in the history of the sport? It has been a fantastic season, but I think honestly Aiden Jackson, he's been far less controversial, he's been far less argumentative, and maybe, to be honest, has kept this team from falling apart to the inside through the final couple of corners then. And with just a handful of laps to go, we are up into P1 here in Abu Dhabi. I mean, F1 25 only came out today, but we might be about to win our first ever championship inside this game. Comes with a bit of an asterisk, but I'm not going to complain. Well, after a tough start then to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, as we round the final corners to start the last lap here, it has been a tale of two halves for Aiden Jackson. Lacked pace early on, but then once we moved over to the medium tyres, things have really come alive, and it looks like Callie might be vulnerable to Verstappen towards the end of the Grand Prix anyway. So it was critical. We knew we had the pace to try and win this race today. Of course, you know, all of this storyline, everything like that really does point towards that this might be the last episode or last kind of breaking point we get. What effectively has been a trilogy, and kind of the weird one we got inside F1 2019 as well. Obviously with Lucas Weber, Devon Butler and ourselves as well. But it has been a really good fun storyline. It's been good fun obviously to go through it. Ready for you guys obviously on release as well. Perhaps if you're not picking up the game yet, or you're just interested to know what the entire storyline kind of includes, then hopefully this video has been good fun for you. It's certainly been a long one. I don't know how long it's going to be once I edit a few bits out, but probably still going to be ballpark about 4 hours, if I had to guess. But in towards the final few corners here of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, it might have been a tough old journey for Aiden Jackson and the Connor Sport team. But today, of all days, it is finally gonna be Connor Sport's chance. Not their own driver, or not their own family driver, I should say, but Aiden Jackson. He started from the bottom through the final corner. We are gonna be world champion on day 1 of F1 25.
And would you believe it? It's Aiden Jackson who clinches first place here in Abu Dhabi and becomes champion of the world. Callie Mayer comes home in second. What a brilliant effort, but she'll be heartbroken to have come so close. Meanwhile, on the pit wall, massive celebrations for Connor Sport. The driver and constructor championships are theirs. And what a celebration with some familiar faces grinning from ear to ear. It's Jackson, though, hero of the day, and I get the feeling he's just getting started. Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, winner of the Drivers' Championship, and the pinnacle of his career, it's Aiden Jackson.
Whose idea was it to sneak onto the podium?
Andreo's, yeah.
So Devon says it was your idea to gate crash the podium.
And you believe him?
You went along with it, Casper.
Devon said he'd pay the fines. And it was fun.
Were you happy for Aiden?
Don't ask me that.
Why not?
Because I wanted to win. More than anything. And I will always be gutted that I didn't.
Aiden, F1 Drivers' Champion 2025. How does that feel?
It's the greatest feeling in the world.
When you first started the team, did you ever think Connor Sport would win the championship?
No. Don't get me wrong, I thought we could compete. I thought we could win races, but I don't think I ever considered that Connor Sport would win the whole thing. But we did, didn't we?
Are you tempted to come back, Casper?
No. I mean, I'm grateful for everything the sport has given me. I'm going back home to be a husband and a dad.
And you're happy with that decision?
I am.
What do you think was the key to Connor Sport's success?
Is that a trick question? Me? Obviously.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Breaking Point journey. It looks like we kind of tied up quite a few loose ends there as well. We're going to see Casper go off, live his family life. Devon Butler giving us one last kind of little confident bit there. I always think Adam does a fantastic job because he is such a likeable guy in real life, but he plays the villain so well inside this game as well. But yeah, as the credits roll though, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for all the support on the channel, of course. At the end of last week, literally, genuinely, as I was going through and recording this video, we actually ticked over 140,000 subs. A little bit of kind of fun little storytelling as well for you guys. I'm actually meant to be moving house literally within the next couple of weeks as well. So trying to get a load of F125 videos out and ready for you guys. And, you know, this one was a bit of a big project to be doing, but I really wanted to do it to give you guys all access to the campaign mode as well there. But obviously, yeah, big things coming in the near future. I'm very excited for F125. I really do think they're bringing the game in the right direction. And hopefully, you know, after 24 was a bit lackluster, I'm hoping we have taken a big step. Of course, all this talk that, you know, this could be the last F1 game from kind of the Codemasters and EA team as well. I'm hoping maybe that isn't the case just yet. But I am excited to see what they do with F125 as well. Because as we've already seen, you know, with the F1 Manager series, you know, these games might not be around forever. And it's so important that we kind of enjoy them whilst we can as well. But yeah, big things obviously with F125 coming in the not too distant future. Like I said, I'm trying to get as much stuff as I possibly can as well there. But if we scroll down through some of the extra stuff, then we'll try and make sure that we shout out all of these names that you can see on your screen as well. There are obviously lots and lots of people that obviously go into making this kind of thing as well there. So yeah, massive thank you to everybody you know, that has helped with all of this. And there you go, you can see localization as well, everything like that. But of course, yeah, more of the My Team career mode coming very soon as well. Probably later on tonight actually, by the time this video goes live, as well as a few other little bits and pieces as well there. See all of the various translations, of course. You know, it's a fully global kind of story mode and everything like that as well. But if we just try and make sure that we feature all of these names, because, you know, I think they absolutely deserve it. You know, we are flying through them, but pause if you're on there, for example. Let me know down in the comments below. Of course, if you've just been a viewer, let me know your thoughts and feelings on Breaking Point 3 as well. Have you enjoyed the story mode? Do you think it's coming back in the not too distant future as well? Tell me all of that good stuff. But I think we're getting down towards the end of it now. You can see all of kind of the EA team and everything like that. Everybody that worked on everything for it, you know, script writing, everything like that. It has been really good fun. And honestly, scrolling through all of this is actually making me slightly dizzy as well there. So yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. Like I said, get yourself subscribed. How much more has this actually got? How much further have we got to go? I keep trying to kind of round off the video, and clearly it's not quite there yet. Tools and tech, performance technology, development and releasing engineering. I mean, it's a banger song in the background, rather loud, but an absolute banger of a tune to finish this off as well. Do you think I should do another one of these? Do you think I should try and win it as Callie Mayer as well? I want to do a few challenges, try to win like every single event that I possibly can as well. But I think, yeah, as we get towards the bottom of the music, see all the compilations and everything like that. We got a load more of these. We got even more. A lot of people worked on this. Clearly, yeah, a lot of people are involved in all of this as well. Legal, EA security, sort of be getting right down towards the very bottom of it all now, then, as we get some of the classic main menu theme songs as well inside this game. How many people worked on this team? There's me! I'm there! I made it! I'm pretty happy with that, actually. That was worth scrolling all the way down. I'm actually featured at the bottom of the F1 game credits. That's quite a special feeling. I honestly was not expecting that as we went into this. So that is, yeah, that's quite a special feeling, like I said. There we go, though, getting down towards all the bottom of the licenses as well. All of the teams, everything like that. F1 Life, all of the other special talent as well. The Sim Racing Champions, the social media. Of course, obviously, Arrow featured, and obviously Ben as well in that one. So Ben actually gets name dropped twice. Open source software apparently as well. All that good stuff. F124 usage as well. Of course, obviously, for the first part of story mode. All the licensing details I mean, I've gone through the whole video. If you're still around now, then fair play to you as well. But there we go. That is all of it. Breaking Point done and dusted. Thank you all, and we'll be back very soon with more F1 25 content.